There we go.
How long, yeah. How long
Okay,
do you think?
hold
I
on
mean,
here. We just went live, so
okay,
I'm going to introduce you. I'm just going to say this is Joe. I think pretty much everybody knows who I am.
yeah.
And I think we should start all over here. Anyhow,
Mm.
where are you from again, Joe?
Australia, Australia, Melbourne, Australia. So that's where I'm located from.
Yep, he's across the water.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as bad, if not worse, over there than it is here.
What do you say that?
Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen. But
What?
you
Yeah.
know, but it's
But
fun. It's
I
fun to
reckon
talk to
America's
him.
worse. I reckon America's worse compared to, like, I mean, I think anywhere you go, it's like this.
Well, it's almost yeah. You know, a lot of people don't understand it's actually NWO.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing the same problems all over the world.
Hmm.
It's all been socially engineered. So, with you, how long has it been since you come on the TFL?
Since I found out about this, since I found out about the red pill, like waking up and being real with yourself, I've been like this since day one, since a little kid,
Yeah.
going back, as a little minor.
And so, anytime you went out and tried to meet somebody, just the rejection, nobody interested.
Yeah, it's not long after it's the throwout line, let's be friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find out that they'll be with someone else not long after, or they already have someone on the side or a number of people on the side ready to go after you. It's disgusting. It's sick. It's disgusting. And to be honest, just knowing if you're that sort of person who's like that, if you're the opposite gender who's doing these type of things, and you're not loyal and you want to have your fun, then I'm not going to bother waste my time with you. I don't want that in my life
Yeah,
because
you know.
I don't do that. I don't play the game. I don't go from this person, that person, from different females. I don't do that. Just one's enough.
I actually don't blame you. You know, the majority of true TFLers, they go through with what you're talking about, and all they want to do is meet one female
Mm,
that they'd be compatible with, that they
mm.
would become friends with, they would become best friends and more, and eventually fall in love, and that they'd have a lifetime together.
Not anymore.
And this is what you find, you know, most of the TFLers, this is what they want. They're not chasing sex. Yeah, sex is a part of life, but that's not at the front of the list. Because, you know, sex isn't something you have to acknowledge to understand that two people who love each other, that's naturally going to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
But society
yeah.
is way over sexualized and people have got all their priorities out of order. They got everything out of order.
So why do you reckon why? So I mean, a lot of times, a lot of the young girls today, they want to hook up with a guy the first day or so, or first night. They want to have, you know, they want to go on that level.
Yeah,
And
they want to go for that level of sex right off the bat.
why do they think that way? Why can't I just wait for a couple of months, maybe a year, before they decide to want to, you know, go on that path, on that level? I've always had that thing, like, it's best to get to know someone first before you decide you know, to do your business.
Well, you know
That's
what?
what I say in life. That's what
Actually,
I
that
say.
puts you at a higher level than most people because what you're saying is so correct. You know, sex used to be at the last of the list, and that didn't
It should
happen
be.
like what you just said.
Mm,
Okay, but in today's society, everything's upside down on its head. Everything's been manipulated
correct.
and twisted, and people actually don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to treat each other.
Yeah, I've been watching your videos, and the more I look around, the more I see you. You just start to make sense. You do that. You just start to make sense, and I start to realize, shit. It's not me. I have the problem. They make it like you're the one with the problem, and when you actually hear about what he's saying, you look around them and you see what the masses are doing. You realize it's not your fault at all.
Yes, well, so many people they go through when they're young and they blame themselves because they're unaware of what's really going on.
Mm.
And it's when you start really focusing and paying attention to what's going on around you.
When you're young, it hurts the most. When you're young, when you're in your prime years, it hurts the most because you're young. You want to meet someone, and that drive is there. But as you get older, your drive goes down, and you're not so I can't speak for everybody because there's guys out there that are in their 30s and 40s and older that still feel that need to find someone, and it doesn't go away even when you're in your older years. But for me personally, it is slowly starting to die out. I'm starting to realize that, you know what, I'm developing on my own. You know, the drama that comes with it is not worth the time and the hassle.
Oh, you got that right. It's hard to get that through some people's heads, especially younger guys.
Yeah,
They don't understand,
absolutely.
they absolutely do not understand that.
And they have no one to turn to. They have no one to talk
Yeah.
to. Their parents, they blow them off. Oh, don't worry, just work on yourself, do self improvement. It ain't gonna do nothing. Going to the gym, working out, getting a high paid job, getting a nice car is not gonna pull in the girl. And why? It always go back to the same. Oh, it's this, it's that. Oh, sorry,
Well,
I
now
nothing, man.
let's just go with what you just said. You're correct.
Yeah.
You're correct about what you said, but
Mm,
if you was to had to have a nice car and a really good income and all this shit to pull in a girl, so what are
mm.
you pulling in? Somebody that looks at you as an ATM machine?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that don't
When,
actually love you, that uses all the
yeah.
words to get their
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah, when you're young, you don't see that side. You don't see that aspect of they're only with you because of what you have, not because of what you are or who you are as a person. You know,
Yeah,
when you're young in your late teens, early 20s, or teenage years, 20s, that's where you want to try and fit in and play the game or try and do certain things to modify yourself to get someone in. And then if you do that, you're going to end up back to the same scenario.
yeah, yeah. There's no doubt about it. And it's so sad. When you
Mm,
ask me where I come up with TFL,
mm.
I did that years ago from living in
Yeah,
my,
10 years ago. Yeah,
yeah, 10,
I
12 years
knew it. I
ago.
saw it. I saw it 10. I mean, I saw it 10 years ago when I was 21, 22. And I still couldn't get someone back then. You know, even and now it's even more hard because now I'm in my 30s now. Pretty much, my prime years are almost done. And
Yeah.
I guess as you get older, it gets worse. They
Oh,
say,
it
"Oh,
does.
don't
It
worry,
does.
you'll." They say when you get older, it gets easier, but it doesn't.
Oh
That's
no,
not.
that's a bunch of BS. Like
It's
the
totally
like
true.
like when you hear them say, "Oh well, don't worry. When the woman gets older, she's gonna hit the wall." Bullshit.
Mm,
She ain't
no,
hitting no
listen.
wall. There's so many men that can't get a woman in their life of all ages. She's always gonna have her pick. She may not have as the choice she had when she was in her prime, but she
Mm,
still has a whole lot more choice at 40 years
yeah,
old, 50
yeah,
years old
absolutely.
than men have.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Well, I'm glad that you've actually paid attention. When did you actually start realizing on yourself that it wasn't you?
Um, eh, I think about 20, 20. I noticed it then. About 20, I noticed that was kind of the point where I started to see, okay, I'm past my teenage years. I'm not in high school no more. I should be getting girls left, right, and center. Yet they're just there's so much effort, and they have so many options, and they have to chase them and do all of this, and like, there's nothing in it for me. There's nothing that they can return. I noticed when I was 20, somewhere there I noticed that. That's when it started to hit me. And I went through depression throughout that period when I was 20, 21.
That would actually be normal.
And I
Okay.
couldn't figure out, at the time, I had so many things to deal with a job, a career, a direction in life, where I should go in my life. And it's just, it snowballed from that. But towards my mid late 20s, that's when I started to pick up the ball and started to get my life in order. I found a path that I could take that made me happy, a job that makes me happy, like you said before, find something you can do and stick to it because that's what's going to get you through life.
What you're saying right there is very valuable. And I wish more men would listen to what you're saying. I've tried to tell people this so many times.
It's not easy though,
No, it's
because I try,
not.
I kind of try. I've met guys like me, and I try to encourage them, and they're quite happy to stay at their path and just keep moping around and let the time pass. And as you get older, it gets worse, and you get frustrated, and mad because things aren't working out the way you want it to in your life. Whatever you're going to tell them, they're going to do what they're going to do. It's up to them to make the final call,
Well,
like what I'm doing
yeah,
right here.
it is. And what makes me even sadder about it is when you get guys that kill themselves because they can't get someone in their life,
Yeah, there's a guy that
and
did
they
too.
don't even realize how toxic it is in today's society to have a female in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the situation has gotten so bad that now they don't realize that they're actually better off alone. Because to have a
Yeah,
woman in your life in today society spells lots of drama.
yeah, absolutely.
And that's really what it
It's very sad.
spells. I just like to tell people, why are you hitting yourself in the head with a hammer? I mean, you're so stressed out over the privilege of not being abused
Mm,
because that's what's going to happen to you if you get with a
mhm.
female. And then, of course, the minute you say that, well, you're a misogynist, you're a woman hater, you're this, you're that.
Yeah,
And you don't
that's the
have to be a
reality.
woman hater. It's just the reality is in your face. I mean,
Mm,
and I've seen Dave is in here, and Dave's another person right here. He's Mr. Hoka's age. He's been alone his whole life. Okay. But he's
yeah,
got a career and he's got his place. He's getting ready to retire.
yeah,
Okay. He's got his money because there wasn't some woman there to see him as an ATM machine and spill his money behind his back. He
yeah,
didn't have to go through all the drama, but I'm sure he's went through everything that any other guy did that couldn't get somebody in their life when he was younger, and he wanted just like anybody else wanted. When I came up with the name TFL, True Force Loneliness, that's because that's actually what it is.
mm,
People's nobody can force you to be alone. No, that's saying it upside down on his head. You can be rejected over and over because you sure to hell can't force somebody to want to be with you.
mm. I never really chased girls. Like, I never like, I had the opportunity. I did have opportunity when I was younger. Even now, I still do. But I'm not going to chase because I got to compete with other guys out there, and I got to do a lot to get with her. And even if I do get with her, there's always a constant testing ground.
Oh,
You know,
you got that, and then and the thing is,
and you're never in the clear. You never got her locked down. You always gotta jump through eggshells, walk through hoops to keep up with I don't know with her expectations.
yeah, and you got that promoted through media. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
disgusting.
there used to be a couple on YouTube, Dan and Jen,
Yeah,
and they actually promoted that very thing for women to write all their expectations that they wanted from a guy down on paper. Didn't matter how many sheets it took,
yeah, it's just,
and don't settle for any guy that's not willing that can't meet them expectations. And I'm like, you know how insane that is? Because what you got is a situation where you're going to go out and you're going to try to meet all this girl's expectations. What is she going to do for you?
spread
Nothing.
her legs.
Exactly.
Spread her legs. That's what she's gonna do.
Yep.
My cousins do that. I've got female cousins in there. They do exactly that.
Yeah.
They just take. You
Take,
know,
take, take. They think you owe it to them.
and when you call them out on what they're doing, they'll never admit it. And the simps that they're married to, they'll actually support her bad behavior.
Of
they'll
course,
actually
of course.
actually they'll actually will turn on you, the one who's defending them. and stick up for their rights and what's going through their life, they'll actually put you in a corner and say, no, yeah, she's in the right, because they don't want to join your side because it puts him in the firing line, what she'll do to him because she knows that he's speaking up on what's going on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. The simps are one of the big problems we have because
There's too many.
they condone wrong behavior.
Yeah.
They
And they
could,
encourage it.
they encourage it and condone it.
Yeah,
And
they allow it.
yeah, they allow it, encourage it, they condone it, and they attack anybody that speaks up for themselves, okay, against a female, and you become, well, the monster society.
Yeah.
It's all social engineering. Every last bit of this is. And people don't get that through their head. It's years of programming. That's all
Mm.
this is years of programming. People say, no, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's been deliberately done.
So going back, I mean, you look at my grandparents' generation, and I've got grandparents, they're still alive still, and there's no drama. There's actually a sense of bond,
Yeah,
understanding each other and doing each other's half and being content with what they have and what they're doing in life. There is no, you know what I mean? Like they're more grounded, with that generation compared to my mum's generation and now my generation.
yes, yes, that's exactly it. I'm 58. I
So
can,
because they were they were kids during World War II, and they grew up not having much, and so I think as a little kid, they had to learn very young how to grow up, how to do things for themselves, and they appreciated each other, to putting in their half and their share.
yes, yes,
But nowadays it's not like that because everyone's all, I don't know. It's my mom, my parents' generation. I think that's was the kind of starting point. Would you say that, or would it go further back?
well, that was when you
We're
were,
really
that's actually when you were starting to notice.
okay.
It actually goes back a little further than that.
100 years in the past?
No, I
100
don't think,
years?
well, the social engineering goes
1920s?
back further than that, but before it became noticed the destruction of the genders.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
this came on after World War II.
Okay. So that's where it started?
Yes,
The
after World War II is actually when they
to
started
put.
socialist engineering to break up the families. And this is
Okay.
one of the reasons the feminist movement came out when it did. This
Okay.
is actually when it started, and TFL itself did. You could see a little bit of it in the 70s, and by the 80s it was a little bit more noticeable, and by the 90s it was noticeable enough that more and more people are now seeing it. Okay, and now you look at it now, it's like when I came up and gave TFL the name, I was attacked for a long time, and I really didn't care because it's what I witnessed with my own eyes. It's what I lived. It's what I seen. It's what I met other guys with the exact same story as mine. I knew what
Is
was
it
going on.
when you were young, did you have trouble finding someone?
When I was in elementary school, and I don't even count that because you know how young you are in elementary school. I had a girlfriend then, but that's when nobody knows what the hell they're doing anyhow. You're a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. When it became meaningful, now you knew what you're doing. Now,
So
I
you had a
mean,
crush. So there's someone that had a crush on you.
yeah, in grade school,
Yeah.
when you were young.
Yeah.
But by the time you got into middle school and high school, now the years your hormones are kicked in and you're looking. No,
Yeah.
now I was TFL because no,
You're
you
TFL.
wasn't good enough. You wasn't good enough.
Yeah. You weren't the tallest guy. You weren't the biggest, bulkiest guy. You weren't the guy that was the elite.
Yeah, that's
They're the
exactly
ones
it.
that get all the girls. Yeah.
That's right. I wasn't the star of the track team or the football team in high school. I wasn't good enough. I was too short. I was this. I was that. Everything that what they would reject you right off the bat.
See, like when I was in high school, like when you're in high school, you're in cliques, in groups. You have the nerds, you have the
Yes.
average guys. Then you have the elites, the sports stars, the chads,
Yes.
and for me personally, I was a switch. I was a guy that was generally preferred to go from one group here, one group there, go back to the group. I tend to have a lot of time on my own, and I chose that path because I had to fit in the group. I had to play the game, and I don't want to do that. I want to be myself where I'm right now. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got pushed. I actually got invited to go in a group with the so-called elite chat group, and I found that I did try. I did attempt to get involved with them, and I couldn't be myself. I had to be like them. I had to talk like them, act like them, be all the way they
Oh
talk and
yeah, you
march.
have to you have to think with your hive mind in the jars, like what I would call
And,
them.
and then as soon as I revert back to myself, they will give me the cold shoulder.
Oh yeah,
And I
because you know,
say,
so, you know.
come on, be like us, you know?
Well, yeah, be like us, be fake. Come on,
And
be
I'm like,
fake. Okay,
I
don't
said,
be yourself, be fake.
and I walked away from the group. And when I did that, that was the shutdown. The door was shut, and I was no longer part of the group no more.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, and it's crazy. Okay, you're in your 30s, right?
At the time, I was thinking, is it me? Is it them? Am I doing anything wrong? Uh, am I the weirdo at the time? But as I got older, I go, no, I'm not the weirdo here. They're the ones that are in the wrong.
Exactly. You know, I say, I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if 1,000 people, 10,000, or 20,000, or 50,000 people are doing something that's clearly wrong. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. There's not justification for a wrong by numbers. It doesn't
Mm,
work that way, okay? That would be like, okay, so me stabbing you in the foot. Okay, so 50,000 people are stabbing somewhere else in the foot. Okay, so that must mean it's right. No, it doesn't mean it's right. It means you got 50,000 knuckleheads.
mm. Have you noticed when you're maybe you haven't felt, maybe you haven't experienced it, but there's a so-called the people. The majority of the people that play the game, when they see someone that they like and they want to bring them in their group, they tend to get someone to do their dirty work for them. Have you
Yes,
noticed it? Well, I've
yes.
noticed too as well when I'm out and about in social gatherings or in the past. I remember like that they'll pick someone from a group from the group to nominate them to go off and go to you and come and talk to you to pull you in. And I thought, well, I know that person is doing that out of someone who's pulling their string. Well, why? Well, if that person is pulling that person's string, why can't they come to me and telling me what do you want? What are you going to get them play this game for? And get someone else to do your dirty work for them. You know,
Oh, I know what you're saying.
I hate that
It's
because straight away
fucking
I
nuts.
get red flag. When I see that, I go, yes, that's not right because you have to get someone else to do something that you know is wrong to
Yeah,
do for you
because they don't
because
want
you
to
want
do
to
it.
use me because you want to use me.
Yeah,
They want to use me for whatever it is that it is. You know,
it's usury is what it is, and you see it happen all the time. I mean, the last job I was on before my health took a crap,
I hate that.
we had a couple working there, and I used to call them Mr. and Mrs. Brown. Okay, it was a manufacturing industry, and the wife, okay, she was QC, she was quality control, and her head swelled up big time. And of course, she was in charge of people, but then her boss, so she had her nose parked firmly up there. You know what? And
Yeah.
her husband was a tech. Okay, he was a setup man on machines. Okay, and so the two of them had their heads all swelled up. But whenever the big bosses were in, they were over there just basically with their nose all the way up there, you know what? And they had their little clique of people they ran with. It reminded me of high school. Okay, so they were running in their clique. And anybody in the factory that was in the clique, oh, you're cool. You can do whatever you want. You get by with murder, man. Anybody else that wasn't in the clique, they looked down on and treated like shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I know.
and I would look at them and it's like, oh my god. And then they really getting stupid. They would go on a parking lot and I'd be out there on break. I'd be out there sitting in my vehicle having a cigarette and shit. And they would get in their vehicle and they would park across the lot by me. And I'm
Mm,
watching as they're passing the pipe around. So you're
mm,
watching them in there toking up, getting high on break. Uh, and so I was a smart ass and I didn't mean it. And I said something to Chris when he came inside. I says, well, the next time you're going to be out here partying and getting high, at least you could do is invite me. And I wasn't serious, right? And he fucking looked at me and his eyes grew big. And he went over and told Eric and told Disney, blah, blah, blah. And then Eric come over, man, fucking, he comes over and he's all panicked because he realized that I saw him. And then one day, a few months later, he had told me, "Oh no, we don't smoke no more. We quit after that. We don't bring it to work or nothing." And I went into the bathroom in the middle of shift and I smelt the pot in the bathroom. Okay, I smelled it in the bathroom and there was somebody in that last stall. Okay, so then I come out of the bathroom and then pretty soon here comes Eric out of the bathroom. So I waited about half an hour and I says, "Eric," and I says, "What?" "Somebody smoking pot in the bathroom." Played him for dumb. I didn't tell him I knew it was him. And he goes, "What?" And acted all and goes in there and he comes back and tells me, "Oh no, that's just a sewage smell."
mm.
you know, he really thought that he was so smart, but actually what he was doing was outsmarting himself. But this is the mentality they were running in clips.
I
Okay.
know.
And this guy was a regular Najina. I mean,
So, it, the clicks, like it tends to see like how it works in clicks. Usually, they judge you by your looks. Is that
yes.
correct? Yeah, I
They'll
know.
judge you by your looks or your status. Yeah, that's really where
Correct.
it comes from, status and looks.
And the girls too as well. The girls.
Yes. Okay.
I noticed the girls are the ones that pull the strings. They're the ones on top, and then they have
They're
the
the ones
guys.
running everything, man. I mean, literally,
It's not like that at all.
they're running it because all these Naginas, these
What
simps.
was it? Is it the females? Because usually, from what I've seen, like it's usually they go by something you've got that they want. They want to try and pull you in their group to use you or to
To use
exploit
you,
what they
yes. Well, in
use
their
you.
case, they wound up, they had family working in there, so they had their family and relatives, and they were running with them and a couple of friends out the factory, and they were all in their little group, their little clique.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
Now, Disney
I,
being QC, the actual supervisor that's in charge of the entire shift, the one that's at the top in charge of the
mm,
shift, she
mm,
was always trying to run them. Okay. And she
right
got
on.
by with it with Brad because he was, up in age and blah, blah, blah. Then Jeff came in position and I just called him the stupid visor because that's really what he was. Okay. He wasn't a supervisor, he was a stupid visor. Get
Yeah.
me the two-faced tape because that's what he was.
Two
Okay.
Face.
Yes. And so, but Disney ran him. So she really controlled the shift because he wouldn't stand up to her, right? Then when Jeff moved down shift, they brought Brian up from day shift, and this guy Brian, he had been there as long as Disney was, and he wasn't no simp. He wasn't no Regina. She tried to run him, and it didn't work. She got her ass towed off. Okay, that
Yeah.
he's in charge, not her, and she
Uh-huh.
will do her job, and blah blah blah. And these are my people, not yours. Oh, she didn't like that, so she figured she could get him in trouble with the plant manager, the production manager. They had a GM manager up in the front office, and they had a production manager. So she went to her boss and his boss, the production manager, when he'd come in the morning, and we were doing night shift, and tried to make trouble for him. So then he repaid the favor and went to him and made trouble for her. So they had their feud going back and forth. End result was her husband got fired, and she lost her position. He lost his position.
Okay.
That was the end result. So the end result was then the production manager was a real idiot. He hires a female off the street to be the new supervisor, might as well be stupid visor, who had never done this type of work in their life.
Mm.
Okay. and then left the once the guy that was now the supervisor had to be there for 3 months to train her to be the boss.
Okay.
And then they dropped him back down to a tech. And it was because they had their little battle. And what it was he wasn't a simp. He wasn't a vagina. He stood up for himself to her. And there's so many guys that will not stand up themselves to a female.
Why
Yet
is that?
I think a lot of it is TFL. You
Oh,
know,
IBTFL.
I tested Eric the one time. Okay. I says to him, so Eric, and he says, yeah, and I says, so you know how hard it is for a guy to get a woman in her life? He looked at me and he acknowledged, he says, oh, fuck right. He says, fucking takes forever. It's so damn hard to get a woman in your life. And he acknowledged it, right?
Yeah.
But then there he was. The first time she got mad at him, he's basically on his fucking knees begging her for forgiveness. Okay, so it's pathetic when I see this crap, but I also understand it because these were guys that went for years being alone and being rejected.
Yeah.
So now they get somebody in their life, and don't matter how she treats him, she don't want to be ostracized by everybody else, and he don't want to lose her for fear he'll be alone forever again. Plus, the
Mm,
fact is, even Peter Nolan will tell you this, which is so true. Okay, when you're married couples tend to hang with married couples.
correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
now she cheats all day long on you and treats you like dirt, and you
Yeah.
divorce her. You
Yeah.
divorce her because she's cheating on you, treating you like dirt, hitting on you, whatever else, right? It's going on, spending all your money behind your back and all this other crap. So you divorce her. Well, out of the years you were married, if I don't care if it was 20 years, and you're married couples, every last one of them guys that are married couples are going to throw you in
Fine.
front of the bus
Yeah.
along with the females because they're all going to stand by the woman regardless of how wrong she was.
Even though she's corrupted.
Yes, and this is what we're living in. This is what our society is doing.
Where do you think this is going to go? Where do you think this is going to go? I mean, how far can this continue? How far can this continue? Something has to give eventually.
Well, what
So
you're seeing basically is you're approaching into the end days of NWO. I
right.
would say my guess would be by 2030, 20, not 30, 2035, 2040, in and around that area.
Yeah.
You're not going to see couples together anymore.
Oh my God.
Okay? They don't want that.
Oh,
They
God.
want you divided. They want you broken. They didn't accidentally
But
make these sexes
this
now.
doesn't, like a lot of guys are not gonna a lot of guys are not gonna be happy with that. A
Well,
lot of
but
guys
yeah,
are gonna
I
fight
understand
back.
what you're saying, but here's what's really dangerous about it. AI
Yeah,
and microchips.
yeah, but
People
I'm not
don't
gonna be around long enough that to come out.
Well, AI is already in progress right now
Yeah,
and being used. But what
yeah, but
people
I don't see AI robots the way you see artificial. I mean, I just can't. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon in my lifetime.
well, what their plan is they've already started it.
Yeah, I
You
know they
got a
have.
lot of gadgets and it's conditioning is what it is. Now, if you
Yeah,
pay attention, see, you're a whole lot smarter than a lot of guys out here, just like my 21-year-old friend from United Kingdom, and he's only 21. Oh my God, he's so impressed me. 21 years old, and he's so awake to what's going on around him at his
yeah,
young age. It
yeah.
just impressed,
I've heard him before.
yeah, it impresses the hell out of me. And just from the conversation with
So
you,
me and him are like the same. Me and him are kind of aware of what's going on.
exactly, exactly. Now,
Yeah, well,
if you pay attention around you, which you've been doing,
yes,
don't you sort of feel like the zombie apocalypse?
absolutely. Today, it was an example today when I was on the road, just driving and seeing people what they do and just how they act and how they just carry themselves. And they're just in la la land, just completely
That's
zombified.
exactly it. So now if you take this into mind and you really think about it, people like you, people like myself, people like my
Yes,
friend over in the United Kingdom, this is not 100% across the board, but we're outnumbered by
I
zombies,
know.
okay?
I know.
And these zombies are going to fall right down that freaking rabbit hole. And when they say this chip is going to make you smarter, more this, more that, they're going to
Yeah.
be, yeah. Do you follow what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they're
What
going
about
to,
guys
yeah,
like us? I mean,
and
guys like us.
yeah. And that chip, unfortunately, is
But
going to be
guys
used
like us.
against them.
Are we? I mean, could we get attacked by people that are in the majority because we're not playing in the game?
No, well,
Because
that already sort of happens already. Why do you think
yeah,
people get pushed out and ostracized?
that's all they can do really. That's all they can ostracize you.
Yeah.
They can't.
Well, and
That's
like
they
here,
know what they can. They know what they can
eventually,
get
yeah.
away with. They know what they can get away with, and that's their main weapon is to ostracize you and outcast you
Is it
because
as
you're
it
not playing in the game.
progresses? Yeah. But the real issue with it's going to be these
Yes,
people are
yes,
going to willingly take that fucking chip. And
yeah.
then that's going to be planted in their freaking head. And these son of a
When
bitches,
they're born,
and then
when they're
these
born.
people are going to use AI through the computers to put thoughts in your head and control you. You will virtually watch the world change into what it's never, ever, ever been. And they're not going to care if they don't have a woman in their life no more because that chip and AI and them pushing keyboards. You got a couple people at the top running keyboards, and the programming that they put in goes out to everybody that's chipped.
Okay.
Now, what they
And
do is they make it so that you don't want to be chipped. Well,
mm,
you might be dangerous to society.
I know.
See where I'm going here? This
But
is what they're going to
what
do to
happens
try
with
to force it
folks
on
like
you.
us? What happens with people that are awake, so to
Well,
speak?
see, we're going to be ostracized. We're going to be shoved out. But the,
How are we going to survive?
well,
How are we
you
going
know
to
what the
survive
real
then?
kick in the ass is? You know where they're going to get us the hardest?
Right.
And it's not that just a chip, but this has already started.
Yeah.
The cashless society.
Okay.
It has already started.
ATMs are
Okay.
going out the door. ATMs are there's no more ATMs. They're going obsolete.
Yes, well, all banks will close. When they go cashless, there won't be a bank, there won't be an ATM machine,
Yeah.
and everything will be controlled by the card at first, and then they'll want to put a chip in your hand. Okay?
Mm,
But so you'll work like you're doing now and you'll get your money, but you're not getting money. It's all put on there. So
yeah.
now what happens is when you don't comply with the whole high thinking, we just shut off your currency.
Yeah.
Now you want to pay for your bills and buy food and live? Then you comply. We want the chip in you. You either allow us or you don't have enough food to eat, you don't pay your rent, this. And then they want to
Mm,
make bartering illegal as well so that you can't trade stuff without breaking a law.
mm-hmm.
This is the end stages of NWO, and this
That's a
is,
shit show.
and people don't want to think, no, they'll never do that. Well, because you may not do that. You're not talking about normal people. You're talking about psychopaths who already have control over everything. Yes, they will do that because this is what they want.
But do you think the nuclear war would happen before it happens or after?
I would hope, oh God, I piss people off when I say this, but I have nothing against them having a nuclear war and dropping
Oh,
bombs because when I look around me, I see parasite after
I
parasite
know.
after
So do
parasite,
I.
okay, abusing other people and getting their rocks off on it. They're on
It's
their ego
disgusting.
trip. What I see is just pure disgusting evil.
Mm.
And I think to myself, if I was a trash man, I wouldn't be the type of trash man people think about. I would be the type of trash man that was taking out the trash, but I mean human trash. Okay, but I'm guaranteed you'd have a full time job, you'd never be at work. Okay. But I think about if the bombs fell, what a way to clean up the scum.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I know that sounds
That's what I
evil and
think too as
sick.
well. That's what I think too as well.
Yeah. And people,
There's no reset button.
yeah, it is. It's like a
Wipe it
reset
clean.
button. Let's just wipe the planet and start over because, you know, and it's sad because to feel that way, but you see it,
Before you
you know.
continue, would it happen before the microchip or after it?
You know, I
I
would
think it would happen
almost think,
after it.
I would think after.
Yeah, whoever survives the fallout, like in Blade Runner,
Yeah.
how is
And
the
I know,
fallout?
well,
There's
think
pollution.
about this when you brought up Blade Runner. I don't
Yeah,
care what platform you have over there. It's like here in the States, we have Hollywood. You have your version of Hollywood over there.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
country does. Okay. And for ever and ever now, the elite have said straight in your face, we are going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we are
Hmm.
going to do it, and you will do nothing about it. But people think that means we're going to get up on stage or on TV and openly just talk to you. No, 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 no. We tell you what we're going to do through music, through sitcoms, through movies,
Hmm.
and until you actually educate yourself, because people think I went to school and I grew up and I'm educated. I says, no, you're dumbed down. They says, no, I'm not dumb. Everybody is, because knowledge has been withheld from you. You're taught exactly what they only want you to know. That doesn't make you educated. This world's a big school. You'll learn your entire life and still not know everything. So much knowledge has been kept away from you that you basically walk through life living an illusion, a bubble. You've been lied to so much since the time you was born, and that's not discrimination. It's discriminating anybody. The facts are we've all been lied to. The
Hmm.
facts are doesn't matter what country you're in. You got people over here in the States all the time saying, well, if I go overseas, it's going to get better. I'll be able to find somebody better. And I'm like, you can go overseas all you want. What part of this global agenda don't you understand?
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
say, see, you're an island. The 21-year-olds in the United Kingdom, and Dmitry was in Ukraine. So, I mean, I just gave you three examples of three people that are living the exact same things in
yeah.
these different regions. So now please explain to me how this, how you think you're going to go overseas.
Mm.
Because when they said NWO and it's programming worldwide, that's
Everywhere.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed it. Yeah.
And we sit here in the States, in Silicon Valley, and,
Yeah.
here we are worldwide sharing Silicon Valley, California, their platform to talk about this. But then you got to be careful about what you talk about, too, because they'll hurry up and censor you and shut you down.
Mm.
You know, I've lost several channels along the years doing this, and it's never been dating scene topics that costed me my channels.
Mm.
Though they are moving in on the manosphere, and they've been moving in on the manosphere. And in the States, I think it's going to hit first. I can't say where it is over there, but they've been moving in on the manosphere. That's why you got all these phony baloney incidences they're pushing about incel guys. See, because they want to pass a mental health law. And of course, some ways, okay, maybe you're lucky, it may not
I've
affect you over
noticed,
there, but
I've noticed, with the young 20-year-old guys now, they're in their late teens, early 20s. I see a lot of young guys out there that are single and lonely in their boy groups or on their own. I've noticed it more now than my generation,
yeah.
and it's happening. It's getting worse with them.
Well, that's just it. It's,
And
it's, it's
they
getting
look
worse.
miserable, look so unhappy,
Well, it
you know,
is, it's sad because
because
I
no
don't
one
think
cares.
anybody should have to go through the life that I'm watching these guys go through.
Yeah.
And it just annoys the hell out of me. It eats me up. And that's why I always stood by guys. I was told that, you know, they like to buy a simp. They like to making fun of or call. They don't like being called white knights. They think they're hot and big because they're standing up for women. They're white knights, right? So then I was actually told by a female and by the guy I used to associate with it, well, because I stand up for men, that makes me a white knight for men. And I'm like, well, When you have a world that's dedicated to man hating, male bashing, okay, and the man is actually the primary victim, and no even, Steve Hoka was so correct with his statement about, okay, everybody likes women, women like women, men like women, and everybody hates men. Men hate men and women hate men. And that was a very true statement because that's the reality of what people see. And that is what's going on. And but yet the women still somehow are being the victims. So how is that? How is that? And I say that to these Naginas and simps openly. How is it that you see the woman as the victim? Have you reached around to the backside and grabbed yourself by their hair and pulled your head out of your you know what yet? And if you ever get it pulled out of there, you may have to go to the car wash and have it hosed off. And I hate talking that way, but that's really what it's come down to. And people think, well, you're a woman hater, but you're not a woman hater.
Yeah,
I hate corruption.
yeah,
Has nothing to do with the gender. It's the corruption. And that's
yeah,
really what I'm fighting against is the corruption.
yeah. I understand.
And that's really what it's been for me the whole time. Yeah, I stand up for men because so many men are getting in the shaft so hard. You
Yeah,
know,
they're being robbed of their youth.
yeah, they're robbed of their youth. They're discriminated against.
Yeah,
And looks
yeah.
does play a bigger part than most people think.
Sorry, say it again.
Looks plays a bigger
Yeah.
part in society than most people even realize.
I think it does now. It does more than ever before.
You
It
know,
does.
now it actually can determine
It
what.
doesn't matter about your character, your personality, what is right. As long as you look the part, they can just they'll go for that. The look.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it?
When I think it is sad. When you look at it deeply, you see when you are able to get there and put yourself in the shoes of what I'm going through. It's very sad.
Yeah, I
It can
was.
damn well it can damn well deteriorate you.
Yep. Well, you seem like you've gotten yourself together pretty well for TFL.
Believe me, yes, I have. I I've 20 years ago, I was an emotional rut. Emotional
Yeah.
rut. I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was on Lexapro, you know, antidepressants. I was seeing a psychiatrist, counselor. And it took some years to finally get myself out of that hole. And there's guys out there that are going through it, and I have met them in my last job, and you know their way of coping is is basically a lot of time is playing computer games. That's the way of coping through their misery. That's their
Well,
escape.
I
That's their
actually can
escape.
I can actually respectively understand that. People may cuss about the games, but I'll tell you what. And I'm gonna go with what Warren said because I totally so understanding. Why do guys that are being ostracized out of society
Mm,
and you people know you're doing it and deny it and will never own up to it while you do it, okay? But yet, why would you expect these guys should anticipate and helping you people have your successful life and working in your society to help
mm.
you people who are pushing these people out of our life? You deny these people a life, so why would they want to anticipate on helping you asses?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah. So I totally understand what he's saying there.
Parents don't understand what the don't know. Parents, when they have a kid that's TFL or a guy who's true to himself, who doesn't wear the mask or doesn't play the game, the parents don't know how to handle or don't know how to deal with the situation. They say, "Is something wrong with you? You need help." When it's a society, that's what happens a lot.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
that's what with me and my dad. Me and my dad would like. My dad was very pushy. He wanted to play the game, and to to be part of the group and don't be on your own and be a hermit.
Oh yeah, right,
And
right.
he was hard on me. He was hard on me, man. We don't talk anymore. I don't see him anymore. He we I mean it's family issues that happen, but my dad was not very helpful on this. He was programmed like many other guys to play the game, to to wear the mask, to be someone you're not, to
Yeah,
fit in.
yes, exactly, exactly. To put on that mask.
So he wasn't really a guy that was going to get there, and he was not treating himself like what I am right now. He wasn't open about it. My mother was more open about it. My mother was more open. She understood more because she's more, aware of it.
Yeah. Well, you're people, I mean, I love my mother. I love my parents, okay? When I grew up, I didn't have an issue there. Except for my dad wasn't around, so I didn't have to have the knockout with my dad. Because, I mean, the breakup of the family unit was going on as far back as then. My
Mm.
dad, and I'm 58 years old, left the house when I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
So they don't change. The problem that I have is trying to get both genders to actually look and pay attention. No, there is not a call from that number. Okay, so
What's that? Oh, we're having a chat. We're having a chat. Why? Huh? We're just having a chat. All right. My mother wants me to head off and cut the chat.
yep, I seen that coming.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, you have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay, so as you can tell there, our guest is gone. Now you're not going to see it from your end. I saw it from my end because see on my end we were physically looking at each other. So this live stream is going to be ending here shortly now, and I seen it. Okay, he has female problems from his mother. She didn't approve of the chat, because I guess there was too much truth being spilt. And the female couldn't handle the truth. And I hate to put his mother down because I know he loves his mother. But I saw her in the background when he didn't see her watching, and she was becoming offended by what was being talked about. And we all know how that goes, don't we? Yeah, we do. The female gender don't want this topic talked about because it's supposed to be taboo. It's all right to do unto men this. You know, there's nothing wrong with this world. It's perfectly normal, okay, when there ain't nothing perfectly normal about it at all. And I sort of saw this coming. She tried to stay out of view of the cam, and I saw her when she come back around. And yep, and he's trying to tell her we're just having a chat. She didn't know she was in a live stream. Okay, so there you go. So obviously the guy, even though he's in his 30s, he's going to have drama with his mother because he dared to speak truth. Oh, yes, that's exactly it. She's trying to control the dialogue. We got to stop this guy right now. He can't be doing this. He can't be out here speaking about truth. I can't have that because I'm hearing them talk about the female gender. I don't care if they're doing it or not. You don't speak against a female. It doesn't matter how much corruption she does. Now, if it was a guy doing the corruption, oh yeah, you just keep right on speaking, son. And that's pretty damn pathetic. But I seen it. I seen it before he ever knew his mother was there because she was in the background. And I hate to say that, but it's true. And I know it's not him. He's a very bright man. As you can tell, he's very bright, very awake, and he sees the actual truth. But he didn't want drama with his mother, and she didn't like the dialogue, she didn't like truth because we were talking about reality. We wasn't fitting into the illusion, the mirage, and because we wasn't fitting into the illusion, the bubble she's living in, I feel for him because now he's probably going to be trying to, you know, explain to her, look, we were just having a chat, he tells her. Little did she know it was a live stream on YouTube. But I feel for him. I really do. You know, he may have to figure out somewhere else to do his live feeds or make sure she's not at home. He's living with his mother or whatever. You know, there's not a lot we can say about it, okay? But with that being said, I thought he was a pretty intelligent man. He wanted to do this live stream. So we done this live stream, as you can tell. He was over here with me. We did our thing. But you can tell what the outcome was. He had to get out of here because she was sticking her nose where it didn't belong, and she was listening in on what we were talking about, and she didn't like what we were talking about. So because she didn't like what we were talking about, yep, she had to come over, and I saw her walk by, and I saw she had his attention, and I could barely make out her voice. She was technically trying to talk quiet, so I wouldn't hear what she was saying to him. Yep, and I could see the disgusting look on his face. Body language sort of says off. Sad. It's sad, but this is just it. This is why we can't get nowhere. Because when you try to speak up and fight back, so many women won't have anything to do with that. They don't want anything to do with it. Well, we could do that if he would like. It appears she's gone now, and she was all worried about who he was speaking to. So if that's the case, I'll attempt to bring him back in. I got no problem with that. Okay, so I'll give it a shot and bring him back in. Just bear with me a minute. There we are. Well, we're still live, so.
Yeah. She's gone now. She's
Probably
very
that's
worried
probably.
about who I communicate to. She
Yeah.
just she gets paranoid and she starts to think that you're dangerous and think that I shouldn't talk to you.
Oh well, it's probably because we were talking about the female gender
Mm,
and the male gender and what's going on in
mm,
society. So
mm,
if we're gonna talk about truth and I'm dangerous,
mm.
that doesn't say much, does it?
I hate when this happens because she gets all paranoid and just I don't know. She makes out like you're dangerous and you're you know you shouldn't talk to him. He's you know this is what this is why you go talk to when it's what you have to do when no one's around because it just this happens and it makes it very
Oh yeah, but you
uncomfortable.
gotta figure out. You should have said to her, "So what's dangerous about him?" You don't even know somebody and you just classified them as dangerous. Would you
Mm,
like somebody that don't know you to look at you and classify you as dangerous?
mm,
I mean, real in reality, and I don't expect you to do that. It is your mother, okay? But
mm.
the point is you don't even
I
know
am
who you
32.
don't even know who you're
I am
talking
30.
about.
I am 32, and she shouldn't be like. It's like
Yeah.
she's overreacting. Really, she really is.
Well, the thing is she stood in
Because
back of you.
you're not dangerous.
I
I
saw
don't.
I saw her earlier,
Yeah.
standing in back of you,
Yeah.
looking hard at the screen.
Mm.
Your eyes in the back of your head failed you because you don't have any back there.
Mm.
Okay?
It's
And I didn't say anything. And then
She
when I
wasn't
saw
even
her go
my.
walking by you, and I seen
Yeah.
your facial expressions, I already knew she was giving you crap.
Yeah.
So, there was nothing I could do about that, and there's nothing you could really do about it. I feel sad about it, but it's not your fault.
No.
Okay? It's really not your fault. And okay, she's worried about you, but then she's worried about you for what? You just got to really think about it. You're sitting in a chair with a set of headphones on a computer.
Mm.
Okay, and I'm dangerous, so what? Am I going to jump through the screen? She don't know who I am is what the deal is. And I'm sure she was back there listening to what you were saying and hearing. If you got speakers, she's hearing what I'm saying.
I've got headphones on, so you can't hear anything what you're saying.
Okay. That's good then. I mean, at least she's not totally hearing. But I'm sure she heard enough out of you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I mentioned my mother, that's when she jumped in. When I mentioned about my mother, she jumped in. She she got a yeah, she got paranoid and she got a bit upset about her. She did, like she said that you're dangerous and I shouldn't talk to you. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to him again. And like I'm 32. It's not like she's just. I'm just going to chat about certain things that have affected me and others across the globe, and it's a main issue. It's something that I am very private about and very open about when those who understand what I've gone through.
Yeah. Okay. And, and I'm not
When do you ever get talked to a guy about this topic and that understands what you've gone through? Very few guys will open up.
unfortunately, that's the real crux in society is you try to talk to other guys about it and you get cut down, called names, told it's your fault, ostracized, made fun of. And so then when you do run into guys that are living it, you have support from somebody now that's also going through it themselves. And if
Mm,
people would open their eyes, they discover there's millions of men all over the world going through the same damn thing. And when you got millions of men going through the same damn thing, don't even sit and say, well, they're nuts. Also, millions of men having the same thing. I'm sorry, when millions of men are saying the same things, that brings legitimacy to what's being said.
mm,
And because you deny it does not make it denied and goes or doesn't make it go away. It just means you've turned your head to a problem. So now let's see if, and I wouldn't like to see, it's not being hard against your mother, but I have the same issues with my mother, and family sometimes can be
mm,
the hardest pill for lots of people. Okay, because the fact is you got so many people that are awake that try to speak out, and their family ain't awake. And it
no, no.
causes all kinds of problems in the household. Okay,
Mm,
you're speaking out about very truthful stuff. Okay,
it's
and
taboo.
she don't appreciate it. But it
No,
doesn't matter whether she appreciates it. The last time I looked, you're a grown man. You're not a child no more.
correct. I've got grey hair. I'm getting older.
Okay, so she
I'm
doesn't
aging.
she doesn't have say so in you talking to people that understand what's going on and talking about topics that are actually true. Because she doesn't open her eyes and pay attention to what's going on in society doesn't mean you're supposed to put on your blindfold to please her. Because she's not going to like the outcome if she's alive when this stuff goes down. She's going to be, what the hell's going on? And you're going to be like, I've known it for a long time, but you didn't want to listen. You didn't want to hear. You didn't even want to look. You're actually complicit with the problem. This is the reason it's gotten as bad as it is. And for people being complicit. And don't feel bad because it's your mother. I had brother and a mother, same exact way, complicit with what was going on. And I've known lots of my friends got the same problem. And about any guy I've ever talked to on TFL or on NWO topics have experienced the same things you're experiencing. So you're not alone with this by a long shot. And these people don't realize their complicity is why we're where we're at.
Right.
So when I said a zombie apocalypse and I say, let the bombs fall, this is why. It's not because I want to be an evil person, but I want people to treat each other like human beings. I want people to get over their goddamn looks issue. And I hate to say it that way, but the truth is the truth. Get over your damn looks issue. Nobody keeps their looks. That's what's even more pathetic about it. Your whole life is based on something you're not keeping? And people don't have no say so. If a guy's 5'4", 5'3", you look at both of his parents are short. What choice did he have being born? Who is going to be his mom and dad? What choice did he have? What, he's supposed to become a millionaire so he can afford to go get what, facelift surgery? What for if he's already short? Last time I looked, they didn't have a way of stretching you. See, everything's completely twisted upside down. That's the reason I
You
gotta
know
be.
what's sad? You know what's sad about it is that girls can be short and they can still date guys who are super tall.
Oh,
Or
yes, yes, yes.
that's what I get upset about the most. Like they get to have someone who's way above their standards, and the guy who's short is screwed over completely. You know, you know what I mean?
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about. See, the problem with this whole situation is it's all one-sided. Because girls can be grossly ugly, and they still have a choice. They still have a life.
They'll have options. They'll have
They'll
options.
have
Yeah,
options. Yes, they
absolutely.
can
Yeah.
be grossly ugly, grossly obese. They can be dwarfs, midgets. It doesn't matter. They'll always have an option based on their gender. But yet you turn around and you take all the options away from men. And the war literally is against men, not women. The lie is that the war is on women. The war is actually on both genders. The females don't even realize. See, the programming has actually gotten down to a fine tooth art where what's going on is women are destroying themselves and don't even know they are. They're
Okay.
like in self destruction mode because they will destroy the guy. Then, through destroying this guy and the next guy, they wind up destroying themselves. There's
How
an
that?
epidemic of women with mental problems that didn't always have mental problems.
Can you explain what that is?
Mental problems as far as self esteem, issues, blame, narcissist,
Okay.
entitlement issues. Now,
Yeah.
you think about it. Entitlement, where did that come from? All simps and vaginas in society
And they'll
place.
raise a little child to be a princess. They
Yes,
were spoiled, pampered. Yeah.
exactly.
And through that upbringing, they become this uh, person who's very selfish, entitled.
Yes, yes. You have it, the epidemic with the wealthy people is the boy and the girl, both spoiled rotten. They become narcissists, self entitled pricks, okay? And then in the lower class, the people that ain't rich, it's mostly the women. Because the guys get squatted on in their house, even by their own dads. Their own dads will tell them, don't you ever touch your sister. Your sister punched you in the face and you hit her back. You're the one in trouble because you stuck up for yourself against your sister. And your dad will be right there to fucking to put you in your spot. There's no excuse to ever lay your hands on a female. And you know, when the schools teach the same damn thing over here in America, I don't know about over there, but I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter, right? The problem is you took a gender and you placed that gender where no gender ever belonged. If we flipped it around and we had the next 30 years of female shaming all over the media, the women wouldn't like it. I mean, there's lots of examples you can use. You can go with here in America when you had Lorena Bobbitt, who became an idol and a star to females across the world. These women idolized her because she cut a guy's penis off. Okay, so how would the women act if a guy took a flame knife and carved her vagina out, and all the men idolized him? The women would be that'd be horrifying. It's awful how sick and wrong that is. Well, don't they get the irony is how sick and wrong it was of them to do that to a man? See, somehow it equates you're not a human. That's really what it comes down to. You're a man, you're not a human. And if you pay attention to today's society really close, you'll find out that so many women, it's not all of them, of course, nothing's 100% across the board, okay? There are some good women out here, but it's like finding a dinosaur egg, okay? And so, and it's just like men. We got a lot of men that are complete garbage. Simps playing into this, helping this problem escalate, and then we have good men. Okay? So, nothing's crossed the board, but the thing is how sick do you have to have millions of people saying the same thing, and you're going to keep turning your head and not acknowledging it? Keep turning your head and not acknowledging it. And keep criticizing and ridiculing the person who's speaking out. What did they think that you were somehow less than a human? Okay? You've lived the life you've lived. You've never had a female in your life. You had all the same wants as everybody did growing up. You've done really good as far as I'm concerned to be 32 and to be in the mental state that you have.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one other person I know that would be in your area, and that's Kevin.
Okay.
Okay? He's over in Canada. He still has his moments with TFL, but overall, he's pretty aware of what's going on, and he's been pretty damn strong.
Really?
Okay? Then we have Dave, who's in the chat. Okay? Dave has been TFL his whole life, just like you.
Yeah.
He's 48 years old, and he's had a really good life, except for just like you. But he also becomes strong, and it don't bother him no more. Because see, he was able to find something to take his mind off what he was doing, put his mind in his career, and he probably had where I look at Dave since he drove public transportation in a big city for all these years. He's been in the public's eye, seeing the public and seeing what's going on every single day for all these years. So he sees the trends as the trends comes in. Dave is a very awake, okay, to NWO. He's been following Steve and I since we come online, really.
Mm.
Okay, so and yourself. I don't know
Yeah,
how long you've been
I found
knowledge.
out. I found out about 2006. I think 16, 16 or yeah, I think 16 or 15. I think it may have been no. I reckon it was 16. 2016. It's been since I really jumped on board because that's where it started to really start to question me about and am I the one out there who's gone through it? That was my final my final blow to figure out, is it just me? Is there someone else out there like me? And I put it on Google and I just found out. I think I found Steve Poker first, and then it led me to you afterwards.
Everybody's had their difference, okay? Because also for a lot of years on my channels, I gave the name TFL and I did the first dating scene topics. But like what drove you to finding us was you
Yeah.
wanted to find out if there were more people living it, what experiencing what you was. I had already found that out before I ever came online doing what I was doing
Mm-hmm.
with my own eyes, okay? I traveled to the Philippines,
Okay.
met
Yeah, I heard
five
about that.
American men. All
Yeah.
their stories matched mine to a T.
Yeah.
That's no coincidence, okay? So
No.
my thing was I
And you couldn't
wanted,
find and you couldn't find a girl there. They're all the same. They're all the
yeah. So I
they all,
wanted to find out why.
yeah.
You wanted to find out if there were other guys living it. I wanted
Exactly.
to find out why this was going on.
Yeah.
And so my search became why.
Mm.
And that's what led me to, at one time, a friend of mine years ago, I was in my early 20s, and we had this canny idea about wouldn't it be neat if we had a one world government? We wouldn't have to worry about no more wars, men going off and dying in wars and blah, blah, blah. So we had this fantasy going in our head, but so unaware. And then when I started looking years later for what was going on in the dating scene, why this was happening, I run smack into NWO and I'm thinking, hey, that's what I thought would be a good idea. And the more I looked into it, was this, oh my fucking God, this ain't no good idea. These are a bunch of sick fucks. And the
Mm.
more I looked, and I never knew the dating scene was going to take me straight to the top, but it did.
Yeah.
Okay, it took me straight to the top. And now Steve, even though Steve is somewhat aware of some of this stuff and's been aware and look around, he didn't do a lot of research into NWO like I did.
Mm.
But it wasn't that Steve was stupid because Steve did do some looking. He knew about Bill Cooper, Steve's not dumb by no means.
Mm.
Okay? But Steve stayed more focused on all of his videos being dating scene. And every now and again he'd drift into another topic, but the majority of his was dating topics. And I did dating plus political and NWO. And I had people coming on my channel saying, why the hell are you doing dating scenes on a political channel? And what's TFL? And this went on for a long time. Well, that's because there would be no TFL. There would be no incel. There wouldn't be no men going their own way or men's rights movement if it wasn't for NWO to begin with. The breakdown of the family unit worldwide isn't. Do you think the feminist movement was an accident? No. All of this stuff was planned long term. And it's been engineered. And this is where we get our behaviors. How could you expect it to be any other way when it's been going on your whole life? You didn't even know what was going on when you was first born and brought home from the hospital. You were an infant baby. How would you know
Mm.
this? You didn't. So when you really realize that this stuff's been going on this long, it ain't like this started yesterday or last week or last year. It's just it was covered up for so long. The internet made a big break. People found out information.
Yeah, opened up a door. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they've scrubbed so much information off the internet that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Hiding stuff that they couldn't hide before. Now they've got this agenda. They want people to know a certain amount of it. They got their plans, but I don't tell, I would say, I tell people, listen to Mark Passio because the guy's brutally honest like me.
Yeah, I've read David Icke's. I've read David Icke's book. Um,
David Icke speaks a lot of truth. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
I've caught
But
David
you
Icke.
started.
I've caught David Icke spilling propaganda.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so but of course he's going to spill some propaganda
Yeah.
because he is an agent. He is a plant. I don't care what people say.
He's
He is.
he's bought him. Yes, say that he's sold himself out to these guys.
Yes, he is.
He's
Mark Passio, I suspect, is probably an agent
but if
himself.
if he's an agent, why are they opening up and telling you truth when in reality they should be keeping
No, because
this?
they always said they were going to tell you the truth.
So they're just messenger boys. They're just telling you
Yes.
what they've been told to say. Okay.
See, if we went back 15, 20 years ago, David Icke was caught a nut job for a lot of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He accepted being called the nut job, and that's what they wanted. They wanted people to think anybody brought this topic up was nuts.
Mm.
But because we're in the end days now and we're living in the zombie apocalypse, you can pretty much tell all the truth in people's face and they still don't get it. That KBG agent that retired, it's been about 40, 50 years ago. This KBG agent who was retired came up and did an interview, and they did it on video. That video's been around a long time. He said exactly what it was going to be like and what our world was going to be and what it was going to be like in the United States. Everything he said happened, has come to fruition. No, people think, well, because he was psychic? No, he wasn't psychic. He was in a position that he was told and knew what the plans was by the people who've done this to us. So then he came out and told the world after he was retired, and here all of it's actually happened. And he said you'd be able to bring a semi load of truth, a semi full of facts backing up what you're talking about to the table, and that people would still call you nuts.
That's why I've walked away from my family. I don't. I waste my time. I'm not gonna waste my time with them anymore. They're in la la land. I'm not gonna. I can't stand there and just go along like a sheep. I just can't. I know better. I know better. I'd rather be
Yeah,
alone than be with someone who's gonna bring me down. Just be in la la land and go provide for your fakery life. I'm not gonna do that. I can't play the game. I
well,
know better.
I like that about you.
What?
Yeah, what you just said, I like that about you because that
That
makes
I
you
know
that makes you
better.
strong. You're not willing to
Well,
bend over and sacrifice who you are and be
I've got tough
fake for
skin.
somebody else.
I've, I've got tough skin, so
You have, you know.
I've gone through a lot in my life, and I I'm stronger enough to say no. That's not right. I feel guilty if I go along. I just know that I can't do it. I can't wear the mask. I just can't. I
Yes,
tried wearing the mask when I was working with other people, and I just couldn't wear it for long. I took it off. It
yeah.
drains me. It tires me out. I just know right from wrong. I know how to be.
That I have a lot of respect for you for because I preach this all the time. Recognize right from wrong. What you would want done unto you, you don't do unto somebody else.
Everyone has that, or everyone has that natural instinct to know right from wrong, and yet they go against the right side and go with the bad. They choose the bad wolf over the good wolf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they see good wolf as weak. They see the good wolf as weak, and the bad
Well,
wolf is
yeah.
strong.
Well, yeah. They see the good wolf as weak. Well, what they're
Yeah,
gonna find out is their idea strong is gonna be their enslavement. Is gonna be their death.
it's going to consume them.
Yeah. That's what that's gonna be for them. Their end is literally the destruction of society and the world. Helping the very people that are doing this to us do it. That is their end. Okay, your end is no future for anybody's children. If I think about the children in today's society,
I feel sorry for them.
exactly. Because they haven't got no future.
No, they haven't.
We have robbed them of an entire future. Your children's supposed to be the next generation to carry on your planet, but instead you took that away from your children.
And you wonder why they're going down a dark path
Yeah.
of destruction, crime, and drugs, and
I
you
heard
know,
a little, probably the boy was only 6 or 7 years old
yeah,
back in Iowa. When I was outside working on a vehicle, this neighbor's kid, he was probably only 6 or 7, he's a little boy, and he's out there laughing and playing with his shit, his toys, and he's laughing and says, "Yeah, I know I'm evil. It's cool." So, see, in his little mind, it was already evil is cool.
at that age already,
Yes,
toxic.
yeah. And I was so disgusted by what I heard, and I realized, man, already that age, he's at the age that, and the environment he's been around.
Yeah,
This comes from
parents.
his parents and the friends and stuff that are around him. So he's out here playing, man, and with his toys. He's, yes, I know I'm evil. This is so cool. And I was like, oh my God, you know? And it does, it disgusts me when I hear it, but you see how far mentally gone we are. And little children like him should never, ever, ever, you know? At least at that age, he could be turned around if he was taken out of the environment. But how's he going to get out of the environment? Everywhere around him is what? The zombie apocalypse.
The parents are zombified. You know,
Yeah,
is it tricky as the father and the mother that have raised them that way?
yes.
So
It's
it's
sad.
disgusting. It's sick. It's
You
sick. It
know,
really is sick.
it does. It pisses me off, and it's so sad. I would love for nothing more to see the right thing happen. And that's really what I want for people. But, people don't want to hear it. They don't want the responsibility. It's no different than, I don't hate women. And I'm sure Joe here don't like hate women neither.
No, I don't.
Okay? It's not about hate. It's about what's we're going on.
Because
It's about
believe it or
things.
not, I can see. I'm strong enough and aware enough to see that the females are going along with the program and the wiring. I can see it. I
Yeah.
can just see enough of it. I've seen a glimpse of it, you know, because they're wearing a mask too as well. They're wearing a mask.
Well,
They're wearing
yeah.
a mask,
Of course they are.
and they're going along with peer pressure.
Oh, yes, exactly. And peer pressure don't stop when you get out of high school.
I know
Oh
deep down
no.
inside, I know deep down inside they do want what's right, but they don't want to feel left out, ostracized by the groups that play along, knowing it's wrong. They don't have tough skin to say no. There's not many girls that are willing to stand with what's right. There's not many. There's more guys that do it what there are females. And why is that?
The guys are actually having a harder life. The
Uh,
female's life is actually handed to them.
yeah. So they're not going to sabotage their easy life when
Yeah.
they
You're
go on
gonna you
your side of the
naturally
fence
you'll have more guys that will speak up because outside
because
of
they've
your
been.
simps, but because it's harder for a guy.
It's
Okay?
harder for a guy. Yeah.
The guy has so much competition. The female, the hardest thing she ever done was just put on
Choose.
some nice clothes and take her pick. And and one of the things that really pisses me off is the so-called female guru or expert in the dating scene. Oh, that just fires me right up. Wow, you're so talented. Wow, I know a million 3-year-olds with the same skills you have. The hardest thing you ever had to do in your life was take your pick, take. And now you're the expert? Yeah, the expert idiot. I get so fired up when I hear females talking dating scenes. You got today's newest pickup artist, PUA, pickup artist, is a female. So
It's
now
not a
we
guy.
have a female pickup artist teaching guys how to get a date.
And they're falling for it? Are the guys falling for it?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Come on. Look at Karen Stroud, Girls' Rights What? The MRA was the men's rights movement. Paul Elam, who's an agent,
Yeah, I've
okay?
seen his channel.
Okay, well, Paul Elam run the men's rights movement.
Yeah.
Oh, but what is it, 8, 9 years ago? Paul Elam turned it over to the feminist Karen Stroud. He still does his videos and stuff, and if you look at Paul Elam's site, you go to his Voice for Men. If you need any of Paul Elam's services, that guy's fucking pricey. It's all about money. It's all about the tool. He's not here to help you. He's here to get rich off you.
I never fell for this type. I never fell for these type of rich games and these PUA. I never really bothered. I always knew that it was like I just knew that something doesn't feel right about them. It just something about them feels just I don't know. Like I need to go and see someone to help me about trying to get a girl. What I gotta say, what I'm gonna do. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to say. I didn't feel the need of going and buying that stuff. It's just a waste of time for me.
Yeah. And Dave says, do I remember Patty Strong or Stranger or whatever? No, I don't remember her. That name don't ring a bell. And that's to Dave. That don't ring a bell.
Do you
Maybe it
think
is on
Blue
me.
Sky? Do you think Blue Sky Media is fake?
The more I'm looking at Blue Sky Media, I'm thinking there's a possibility he actually may be real.
Really?
But the chances are, if he is real, I
Yeah.
think he's fallen down the rabbit hole with Monday Forever Alone Monday.
Yeah, I've seen his channel. Yeah, I reckon.
Okay.
When yeah, I have noticed it when the guy does speak, um, he does sound very professional when he speaks
Yeah, he
on the
is.
microphone.
He's
He's
very
very
he's very professionally spoken, and you
yeah.
got to really pay attention to that. You don't just, there's not very many people out here that can be that professionally spoken that have never done it for a living.
Mm.
Okay? The red
He's trained.
flags are there. Okay? One of the red flags I tell people to look for to catch an agent is pretty easy. Bring up the root cause. Okay, so when's the last time you heard Monday Forever Alone Monday out of all of his videos
Mm.
talk about social engineering in society, the actual root cause of the problems?
Why bring it up? He won't go there. He won't touch it. He
Exactly.
won't touch it.
He won't touch it. No. You know. And with Jay, he left a simple comment asking
Yeah.
him if he's ever going to go on Steve Hoka's live stream. And Monday Forever Alone Monday wrote back to Jay in the comment section under the video saying, I don't have time right now. I'm too busy being an agent for New World Order, NWO.
So
Now, what
he said
kind of answer would that be to somebody that's listening to videos that you don't even know, that just asked if you were going to go on Steve Hoka's live stream? Okay. Well, to say that. And then you can't tell me that Monday Forever Alone Monday came on the scene and's doing what he's doing and didn't know who me or Steve Hoka was. I don't care what anybody tells you. If they're doing all these dating scene topics is what he does, you're damn right he knew who me and Steve Hoka was. And that's the reality. I can respectfully understand your situation. I come on the scene, 11, 12 years ago, okay? And you're 32 now, so you were what, 20, 21?
Mhm.
Okay? And you were a lot of turmoil then, but you wasn't looking, or you may have run into us then. See what I'm saying? So I can
Yeah,
understand that, but you did when you started looking. Is anybody else going through
because
it?
I knew when I was 21, and I went to like Las Vegas when I was 21, and I already knew then like I went to a few clubs and I wasn't able to get nothing. I'm in I'm 21 in my prime years, and yeah, I can't get nothing. I don't understand.
Right.
And then I knew already earlier on before 21 that something wasn't right. And it just kept coming up. And I wasn't going to accept it's me. I couldn't accept it. I just knew that there was something else more than what it was. And then I went to Europe when I was 23, and it happened again, and I just couldn't seem to quite figure it out. And I went through depression, anxiety, all that stuff, and was on medication, Lexapro, and I got off it not about a year after that. And I found a job doing some retail work and moved on from a year after that doing other work, in labouring work. And I found a job that I'm happy doing. It contents me. And so far, I've put my money away. I've been doing what I should have done when I was 21, but I'm making up for it now. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that I always knew that there was something wasn't right. I knew earlier on. That's why now I'm a lot more um, uh, open about it. I'm not willing to, you know, to deny it. Are you
Yeah,
there? Can you hear
yeah.
me?
I hear you just fine. I was listening to you.
Yeah. Well, if you want, yeah. That's why I've thought, I'm going to contact you and get this, get it out there because I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of being quiet about it. It's not right. It's not fair.
No, it isn't, and I'm happy it did because the thing is more people need to start speaking up.
They're afraid.
Yeah,
They're scared. But your life is short. Your life goes fast. You think you got time in the world, but you don't.
no,
And the more you delay, the more harder it gets. And I keep I told guys at my last work, and they have their own coping. Dealing with it is denying and walking away, and going to work, coming home, play computer games. That's the young generation. That's the 20s and
it is. It is.
the early the 30. If the guys in their 30s now, they are doing that, and that's not a good path to take. I don't think it is.
Well, I would agree with you there. It's not a good path, but I got that. If you look at Blue Sky's media, I only pointed out the red flags and the fact that he was responding to, and he don't leave
Mm,
comments. Okay,
mm.
and then common
He doesn't.
sense.
Blue Sky Media doesn't reply to any comments. I've looked
No,
online.
and
He
and
doesn't.
I've never seen him. I've got a couple people says they've seen him leave comments of other people's videos, but I
Yeah.
haven't run into it. So unless I see it with my eyes, I'm not going to go with hearsay because there's people who just lie to lie. We live in a world full of liars, so don't get offended at me for saying that, because until I see it with my eyes, I'm going to say I don't know, but I know this. I know this. True TFLers, people that are really living it, you go your whole life not able to talk to anybody around you.
I know.
Okay? So when you do meet somebody that's has the same issues as you, it would be normal if you're making videos to wow, these guys are living it too. They left a comment, you're gonna type back
Yeah.
because it gives you somebody to talk to that understands you.
Yeah.
And that is a red flag with Blue Skies Media.
He doesn't do that.
That's right, that's a red flag. You know? And
And just coming up online is guts enough. Coming up online and doing a video or doing a channel or doing a video live stream is having guts. That takes guts.
yeah,
Even now, just doing what I'm doing right now. I mean, I push myself. I go, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to contact him, get the ball rolling, make it happen, and
well,
not worry about what other people think about me, including my own mother. You know.
and I'm happy for that because you think I would have been here all these years, or Steve would have, if we actually really cared what other people thought about us? I
No,
don't. I
I
don't
think,
care what other people think about me. You know,
yeah,
I can't because first off, they don't know me. They haven't walked in my shoes, my life. They don't know the first thing about me. They're going based on what they hear me say, and they're mad because some guys are offended for the fact that they're living it and they don't want to hear it. They're trying to cut it off, shut up, don't talk about it, turn my head, ignore the problem, or go away.
no,
No,
it won't get worse. It'll get worse. It's in your face now. Do you
yeah,
know it's only amplified from 10 years ago from now? It's only amplified. In the last couple of years, it's gone up. Since 2014 to now, it's gone up.
yeah.
I've noticed it. I told a friend of mine at my last job, it's only going to get worse.
Well, that's it. Since I started this, I was freaked because I didn't realize it was as bad as it was.
It's going to get worse.
Okay. And then when I realized how bad it was, I've only watched it escalate and get worse and worse and worse. And
People that damage, yeah.
yeah, and this is exactly what people don't understand. You know, next year there's going to be thousands and thousands of young men that are going to be at the age of puberty that's going to start looking.
Mm-hmm.
And in the
And
next,
they think,
yeah, and they're going to be going down the same path as all of you other guys
yeah, don't
with
even know it.
with no way out, and they have no way of knowing it. Okay, and where's their support? They're not going to have any.
No.
Okay, you know, and we talk about trying to get spots together globally where people going through this could go meet each other.
Yep, I
But
remember
then they
them. I
get
remember.
mad about that, talking about that because, well, we don't want that. No, you
Yeah,
wouldn't want these people you pushed out of a life to have spots that they could go make friends and have a life with. No, you're so sick and twisted that you think they should just not have a life at all. You know, I've always said for years now, you got the art of making your own killer, creating your very own killer.
yep,
You got that down pat. You
yep,
people have actually figured out how to outsmart yourselves. You create the person who's going to kill you, and then you turn around and you try to play the victim card. You're the one that attacks them, just like the bully. The bully bullies and bullies and bullies somebody, and till that person kills himself, then you all laugh and say, look how weak they was. Okay? Or he strikes back. And when he strikes back and fights back, oh, that monster. What did you think? He was just going to bend over and keep taking it? Yeah, that's what you thought. Because your ego's flying so high, you convinced yourself you were something you never was.
yeah. My last job I was working at. I got bullied. I got bullied, and it was actually a supervisor that was getting a worker to act on their behalf to bully me, just for their own gratification. And I knew she was doing it, and I did face it, and she wouldn't stop it. I got the other manager involved. She pulled her up. It stopped for about a day or so, and started again. I had to bring my mother in to call it out. It stopped for a couple of days, happened again. And then I ended up fucking leaving because it wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn into a vicious, violent. I'm not going to turn into a person who's a vicious, violent person because of someone, which is very easy to do when they do what they're doing. And I kept fighting back, but I saw that by me doing what I'm doing, I'm
And
better
if,
off
I, if,
leaving.
I, if it was a
I'm better off
female,
leaving.
and if it was a female that was doing it,
Yeah.
that's even worse yet. Because if you strike back towards the female,
Oh yeah.
everybody's going to come down on you regardless of how much of
Oh
a
yeah.
victim you was.
Just like just. Well, I thought the smart move was to leave, get out of there.
Well,
You
actually,
know?
in that situation, that
If
was
they if
probably the
they
best thing about
if
it.
they can't control you, they will keep picking at you, picking at you until you bend over and take it. And I said, no, Dan, well, I'll pack my bag and I'll leave. And as soon as I did that, they go, oh, how dare you? Can you stay back? Can you? Oh, they were trying to make me stay because they realised they couldn't do it no more. So I pulled my cards out. I was going to walk away, which I walked away. I was professional about it. I shook their hand, you know, do right, but I go never again. And now that I've gone my own way,
Yeah.
done my own thing.
You go your own way, you do your own thing, you walk away from them, don't give them the
That's
time
the
of day.
best way
And you know,
for a guy
the
for
other
a
way,
guy who's for a guy who's living TFL, for a guy who's been on his own, doing his own thing, being true to himself, not conforming. The best thing is to find a job that you can do that's on your terms and for yourself, and no one around you, but just yourself, just you alone.
yep,
And the thing about it is, in order to find a job that you can do, a trade is what you have to do. You have to find someone, a boss or a work or a boss that understands you, that can groom you, mentor you, and teach you the skill or the trade, whatever that is, for then you to learn and apply that and then to go your own path and find jobs and go on your own, do your own thing. And that
Yes,
takes time.
it does.
I
It
did.
does.
It takes time. It's not easy.
No, I
Finding
did.
someone that understands you is not easy.
I did remodels for
Especially
years.
in today's world, it's very hard to find men that are going to put you on their wing. Very hard.
It is. It is. There's nothing easy about it, but there's nothing easy about getting tough skin. The
It's not
tough
easy.
skin comes through having a hard life to begin with.
I did have a hard life.
You
I've had
know,
a hard life.
and for you up here speaking out, you've got tough skin. I can tell that, and that is what'll make you strong enough to go ahead and do what you're doing now. You might be nervous at your first or what have you. I've been doing it so long now that it's second nature. I used to
Yeah.
go when I first come up doing videos. I'd never done a video in my life publicly, and I'm up here speaking on, and and I did my True Force Loneliness video, and they were short videos. I mean, YouTube only let you have 10 minutes. If you went 2 seconds over, wham, it didn't go up. You had to
Yeah.
fucking watch the clock hard back in them days, okay? And there was no such thing as a live stream. So, I'm doing these 10-minute videos. And so I tried to always keep them under. And, but the thing is I was called every name in the book. I was attacked. I had everything foul. But I didn't care. And I just kept going and going and going. I did get even with one person once, okay? It was a female being run by somebody who knew better, okay? And they were
Mm.
doing everything and attacking me, attacking me, attacking me. They even went after my son when he was a kid and
Does
made
your
me.
son? Does your son in TFL?
Yes.
He does.
What's that? No,
He
yes,
does.
yes, he is. He just don't know he is.
So do your son understand what you're talking about?
Well, I kept him away from it.
Why?
He was a kid.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't bringing my kid into the room with what I was talking about. Okay.
Okay.
I kept him away from it. Now he's 22 years old.
Yeah. He's
And
about my age. He's 10 years. He's 10 years younger than me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know he is, but I don't say anything to him because soon enough he's going to figure it out. And then one
So
day
you're
when I'm dead and gone, he's got access to my channels.
yes.
So when I kick the bucket, he's going to come up and make a video and say, my dad is gone.
Okay.
But he's also living it. So, think about it. His dad's gone. His dad's gone. And pretty soon he sees his dad's videos he's never watched. He wants to
So he
see
doesn't.
he wants to see his dad. So he starts looking at his dad's videos, listen to his dad, and then it clicks because he's already living it.
Your son will definitely hear videos being played when he's around you,
When he
and he would
was,
know.
yes, he would know how stuff I was talking about if he was directly
Does,
around
does
me.
does he ask you about? Oh, what are you talking about? What are you? Does he ask you what are you saying about this topics? Does he ask you
No,
questions?
because see, he's got his own friends, and I'm his dad. See, this is the parent thing, and I'm his dad, and he's got his own friends,
Yeah,
and some of his friends he's a follower on. Like he had another
follow up.
guy. Well, yeah, he has got another guy that's 10 years older, like you are. That's
Yeah,
basically your age.
yeah.
Okay, that he was playing online games with since he was like 14.
Okay.
Okay, and this guy's a sound asleep, and he's a simp on top of it,
Okay.
which doesn't do my son any
Very good.
justice.
So at the moment, it does because he's gonna play the game
Right
temporarily,
at the moment. Okay.
temporarily until he starts figuring out what's going on.
Once he starts to, well, once he figures out it don't matter how many girls he
Was
meets,
it was he was he
he
like
can't
me?
handle it.
Was he already aware at 21 or was he like because I was already
No,
aware in
no,
my teenage years
no. Jay is the other guy.
that
Jay
things
from
weren't
United
right.
Kingdom. He's pretty
Huh?
much Jay from United Kingdom's 21, and
Yeah,
he's pretty much right at your level right now. You
he's already
might be,
aware.
yeah. He's really aware. I don't think he's got quite as tough skin as you, but he will have because he's
You
quite
have to.
aware. Okay, and I can tell it. I've talked to him enough, so he will have, and he's much more aware than even my own son is. But I did it because I didn't want to destroy my son's life and give him gloom and doom for a future.
Well, look around you, where we're going down that hill. We're
Yes,
going down that
I know. But why would you want to start telling somebody that's only 7 years old?
No, you don't want to do that. No.
Exactly. So I kept my son separate from what I was doing.
Unless I
So a
ask
lot of stuff
questions and they're
he
curious.
knows about TFL. He just don't
Yeah.
know in detail what it is. He knows it has stuff to do with the dating scene. He don't want to believe in some of it, which is typical. That's normal because he hasn't went out and tried. He's kept
Try
himself occupied with video games and working.
exactly. That's what that's what to cope through what you're going through is working video games. You can't stay at home all day, or just you'll consume you or boil you up inside. You know what I mean? Like that guy across the line 2 years ago, he was a guy that was at home, a lot, and he was making videos.
Yeah.
He's left. He's now left the building.
Yeah. That don't surprise me any. I suspected he probably would.
He might be back. He might be back. His channel. It's like his channel's still there still, but he's not. He's not operating still. I think he might have got a job. I don't know what's happened with him, but he might be back. I don't know. It's been about a year since he left. Yeah, because I was chatting to him online, but he left.
Yeah, well,
I think a lot. Some of the things he talks about getting laid, I don't know about that. I think it's all a bit of going to a brothel, getting laid, paying money for 2 hours. I don't know about that.
well,
That's not.
I would never pay money to put my, you know what?
No, neither do I.
Okay, I've
I think it's
never,
expensive.
ever, and never will. You know, if some guy's so desperate and he thinks it's all about sex because they've got him so brainwashed that he's gonna run out there and pay some female money,
It's not about sex.
he's an
It's not.
idiot. Okay, because you're not gonna find happiness with putting your junk in somebody else's junk.
You,
Okay, that's not gonna give you happiness because it's never
you
been
know,
about sex.
you know, when I was working at retail, I had a lot of girls working around me, and I had two guys that were working with me, and I never once hit on the girls. I never did, and they questioned me. How come you don't talk to the girls? And I said to them, like I've got no reason to talk to them because for what reason? To check what for what? Where would that go? I already knew that I wasn't what they wanted. I already knew I wasn't their type because I could see the way they behave, how they act, the guys that were going for, the guys that would drop off and come to the retail store and talk to girls, and they were typical bad boys, chads. And I knew that that's what they would go for.
Yeah,
And I'm not and to me personally, I'm not the biggest, bulkiest guy. I'm only 6 foot, you know, 6 foot. I'm not big frame. I'm small frame, and so a lot of girls will overlook you, because you're not what the image in their head how you must be.
well, yeah, you got to be that illusion that's already in their head
And the
that they get
magazines,
that they got from a magazine or their
yeah,
television set or what have you, and you have to
mm,
fit the imagination they have in their head.
yeah,
And then, if you fit that imagination, you get a chance to be abused,
correct. You
and
get
that's
used. You
that's
get
what it
used.
comes down to. Yep.
Well, yeah,
You.
in the end, man. In the end, one of the girls, she was really pushing, like she was trying to dominate me and push me around and order me around. And I would do it for a little bit, and then I'd fight back, get a bit of attitude, and then she'll go off and have a bit of a cow and come back and do it again. And the 3 times I walked outside the store, I left the day because I couldn't hack her abuse. I couldn't hack her how she's treating me. And at the end, I left because I couldn't handle her controlling me and her trying to shit on me. You know,
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I don't blame you at all.
I see. Like you said before in your other videos, you said before that you're either a switch or you're dominant or you're submissive.
Yes.
I'm probably a switch. I'm in the middle. I'm here. I'm kind of this and kind of that. You know,
Yep.
I'm in the middle. And if it's not mutual, if she gets there and can't meet me halfway, and I got to do the whole lot, I'm not gonna play the game. It's
Yeah.
gonna be halfway mutual, and she couldn't accept that. You know,
No, she don't want that halfway.
she
She
wanted
thinks
to
she
go
thinks it's
on.
supposed to be all her way,
She,
and that you owe her when you don't owe her squat.
yeah, I couldn't
That's
handle.
you
I
know,
couldn't
and
handle it.
no, I wouldn't want to handle that neither. I mean,
I
you,
found it so draining.
I got a wife right now that, well, that close to just saying bye. You can tell that, okay? And right now I'm on vacation. They say
Ah,
no, she's on vacation because she's the one that's gone for 3 weeks. And I says,
okay,
no, I'm on vacation. It's nice and quiet.
quiet.
I,
Yeah,
I don't
I
have to
like
worry
that.
about she's going to have an attitude today and piss me off and I'm going to rip her new asshole.
Uh, so you're saying with the modern day female today is just too much.
Yeah, it's just, what it is. People don't understand that. I'm with her. But how long? Probably not very long.
Well,
Okay. You know, so, and then I'm not going back again. I don't care if I don't want anybody else in my life. Okay. So that's where I come from that way. And,
because
you
when you
know,
reach a certain point in your life, you tend to no, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, I can. I think when you hit your older years, your 40s, 50s, I think it's for me personally, it's over. Yeah, if I can't find someone in my primes, my 20s, it's a done deal. For me, it is. Maybe for other guys
yeah,
out there, maybe they can still find someone in their older years, but for me, I'm not interested.
I don't need it anymore. When she's gone, she's gone. And, if I kick the bucket first, so what, and she's not going to, she's so close to being out of my life and don't even realize it. Because she's typical female. She can do whatever she wants, and I'm just supposed to bend over and say thank you. But I don't bend over and say thank you. And then when I don't bend over and say thank you because she's decided to have a bad attitude and shit all over me for no reason, when I fucking let her have it, then suddenly I'm so bad, I'm so abusive, and how could I treat you this way? I was
Mm,
like, how can I treat you that way?
mm,
Excuse me, ain't you the one that did this? And then she'll hurry up and try to change the topic. The
yeah.
typical female shit. When she realizes she just got nailed, it's time to blow that off and change the topic. Just so that later on, I can do it to you again. And then blow it off, change the topic. Oh, and then after I've treated you like dirt all day, oh, let's have sex. No, I don't think so. That part really blew her away. She had to go tell
Yeah.
her cousin, he won't do anything with me just because I have a bad attitude. And I'm like, ta-da! Hey, what part of that don't you understand? You're not gonna treat me like dirt, and I'm gonna what? Have sex with you? Oh, they call that makeup. No, 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 no. Why would you want to go there with somebody who's treating you like dirt to begin with?
Mm.
I mean, seriously. Do you go there and make love to somebody who just treated you like dirt and gave you a day from hell? If you do, you're a fucking idiot. You're a knucklehead.
It's sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's sick. Disgusting.
that's the way I look at that. I mean, that's sort of like, okay, so you want to go make love to your arch enemy? you know, think about that. Nobody wants to do that, but that's an illusion they have in their head. And she's not the only one that thinks that way. My ex did the same thing. She treat me
I hear
like
about
dirt
that.
all fucking day long, my son's mother.
Was she a dominant woman or she is was she a dominant woman?
She
Was she
was,
a
yeah,
dominant?
she was pretty dominant. She
Really?
wanted to try,
Masculine.
outside the bedroom, she tried to be,
Was she masculine?
well, she was an info, and in the bedroom, it was one of them switch routine things.
Yeah.
Okay. But outside the bedroom, she wanted to be controlling. She used to never be that way when everybody when her first 8 years
Okay.
together were great. But she
Yeah.
got around this gal that was she's calling her friend she met on a job, who was
Yeah.
lying, bossy, pushy, overwhelming piece of shit. And she
Yeah.
had attitude started rubbing off on my ex, and then she thought,
Uh,
now I can treat you this way.
yeah.
Okay. And that wasn't flying.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I can't take it. No. Yeah.
and that's where that come from. So people
But
thought,
did she cheat on you? Did she cheat? Did she cheat on you behind your back?
oh yeah, my ex did. Yeah, she did. And she got caught doing it. And then she told on herself once, the first time is she bought tickets. And that was the strangest thing ever. She bought wrestling tickets. And at that time, I was still watching this phony baloney wrestling WWE, but it was still WWF and WCW was still around.
Okay. Yeah.
And they had an event going on just over the bridge from where I was living with WCW. And she went and bought tickets for that. Well, normally it'd be a ticket for her and I, right? But instead of a ticket for her and I, she comes back and she says, I got a ticket for you and Calvin, which was my cousin. And I says, where's yours? Well, I'm going to a baby shower. But see, she didn't know a lot about the computer. She didn't realize that there was such things as called sent mail, and we had a joint count. Well, her baby shower was to go meet the guy that was about to put his dick in her home.
Shit.
Okay, and so of course I printed the damn printer email out and taped it to the computer monitor. So I knew when she'd come home, she'd go straight to that damn computer, and there she was reading.
Did you suspect that she was doing something behind your back? Did you have an idea that
Oh,
she
well,
was?
now she's crying and begging and pleading for me to forgive her, right?
Yeah.
And I got my
But
son.
did you have an idea that she was doing something behind your back? Did you have an idea?
Not at that point, I didn't.
You
But
didn't know
that
because
was
you can pick it up.
yes.
You usually can pick it up.
Well, yeah, but the problem back then was she was actually legitly working fucking
Yeah.
16-hour days
Yeah.
for most of the week, and then she'd have a couple 8-hour days. So, she was working a lot. And I was doing remodels. So we're both, you know, our schedules are, so we're not seeing a lot of each other
No.
because of the work schedules. So that's one of the reasons I didn't pick up on it sooner because you can't pick up on something if you're not around them enough to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then when I caught what I caught, I taped it and she knew she was busted. Then I watched her like a fucking hawk, you know. And then she always suspected she was. But she would deny it, and I didn't have no proof. And then she gets stupid and telling herself, like, one time I'm cleaning out the trash on the computer and I'm cleaning out documents and it has a JPG there. And I was, so what's these fucking pictures? And I clicked
Mm-hmm.
on the JPG, and up comes this picture of some guy I never seen before. About that time, my ex was walking behind me, and she screamed at the top of her lungs at me and says, "What the fuck are you doing in my email?" I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in her email. So now, here goes the red flag. Okay? So that guy got a nickname by me, okay, is calling him Mr. Sarasota. So then I didn't get into chats, and she'd had Yahoo Messenger, okay? And Yahoo had chat rooms. And she
Mm-hmm.
was always going in them chat rooms, right? And so I went on the computer and I looked for her name and I pulled it up and went under her name to see what I could see. And here was this guy that's coming at me. It turned out it was the guy in Sarasota. He thought I was her.
Yeah.
I pretended to be her momentarily and didn't say much. And he was
Mm-hmm.
asking me if I'm still going to be at his house at blah, blah, blah time.
Okay.
So that was a little bit of a help to tell me. And then, of course, I nailed her with that.
Mm.
And then I was doing one of my remodels was up in Ruskin. It was up in Florida. And it was out of town. It was a cabin. And I was up there working on that cabin. And Terry and I were working together. We had three guys on this one. Most of the time I'm by myself. But they was in a hurry to try to get this place done. So they put two other guys up there with me. And we're all working. And Terry says, hey, we need to go to Home Depot. And I looked at the supply, says, yeah, you're right. We need to make a Home Depot run, right? So, okay, he says, at lunchtime, let's run the Home Depot, right? And this cabin just happened to be right outside of Ruskin. And that's where this Anna Jack lived that she first cheated on me with. Okay? And she was CNA and she was doing CNA work. And she was working for an agency. So they were shipping her all over the place, right? And she kept telling me, well, I'm going to Sun City. I'm going to Sun City. And then one day she calls me up and says, the Bronco overheated on the way to work, and Sun City was only like 25, 30 minutes away. She says, I had to sit for a while. I was a little late getting to work. And I was okay. If it overheats on the way home, I may be late getting home. Says, well, if it don't, then give me a call. She says, okay. The next day I went out and I checked it. There was not a goddamn thing wrong with it. Okay. Well, then it was that following day that I went back to work because she was working weekends through the agency, and I went back to work on that remodel when we went up to Ruskin to the Home Depot. Well, as we were pulling into Ruskin, here was this big sign that says, Welcome to Sun City. And I says, oh, so it was her pussy that was overheating. And she's been coming up here to Sun City, huh? Yeah. And so when I seen her later, I says to her, so Sun City just happens to sit square in the middle of Ruskin, huh? Her eyes grew about fucking 10 feet wide and she screamed at me, how the fuck did you find that out? And I says, so you've been seeing Anna Jack again. That was, his name was Jack, but he got by the name Anna Jack online.
Okay.
So I says, you've been seeing Anna Jack again. Well, we only visited a couple times. I
So she
says,
cheated though. She
yep,
cheated.
exactly. Exactly. The funniest thing
She
she
broke
ever
the
told
heart.
the funniest thing she ever told me was when I'd caught her cheating, she says, well, so I screwed up and I had an accident and had sex again. And I thought, wow, you accidentally had sex? Please show me how you do that. My thought frame was like, I was a smart ass. Would you please show me how you accidentally have sex? I want to see that. What, did he trip and you tripped and something tore your clothes off and he just happened to already be erect and just landed in the exact right spot and the impact what made him go up and down on you? Is that how that works? Uh, you know, but that was one of my most funniest moments with her when she told me, so I accidentally had fucked up and had sex again. I was like, accidentally, huh? Okay, you know. Of course, I'm the one that ended it between us because she had it all worked out. She was going to have her cake and her icing too.
Mm.
And I had it worked out too that no, you're not. You don't want to quit cheating. I tried to hold it together for this child right here named Jason,
Mm.
but I'm sorry. Bye.
How was your kid by then? How was your kid? How was he then when you were younger?
When she was doing all
How?
this,
Yeah. Where? Yeah.
when she started cheating, he was like 3.
Okay. How old were
And
you? Were you like a?
oh my God, let's see. I was 37. I was late in life because I lived TFL.
Okay.
I was 37 before I got had him.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so you know, and but I wasn't gonna do that. So Jason grew up minus his mom because she started cheating around 3 years old. By 5.5, 6 years old,
Was she a good
I
mother?
had said bye.
Yeah. Was she a good mother? Was she a good?
No, she wasn't a good mother at all.
Okay. She was dominant. She was a dominant female. Dominant.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
Yeah.
and she wasn't a good mom.
Yeah.
Okay, not at all. I mean, so there's not a lot I can say. So much stuff happens over the years, but she was not a good mother.
Mhm.
Now, since then, of course, she's
So
remarried.
there are females out there not good mothers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sex doesn't.
It's being painted out. It's been painted out that females are the best. you're raising children, but it's
Oh,
not
that's
true.
just a crock of shit like everything else. Upside down in his damn head. You know,
Okay.
there's people that are not good fathers, and there's people that are not good mothers.
Yeah, my mother's a good woman. I think she's a good woman. I think she's fair. She's
I'm
okay
not
compared to what I'm
saying
seeing
your
out there.
mother's not a good mother, because
Yeah.
there are women, there's lots of real women that are good
Oh, yeah.
mothers.
Yeah.
Okay? But like anything else in life, you have a percentage of women who are
Yeah.
just not mother material. Okay?
Yeah.
Just like you have a percentage of men that are not father material.
Well, unfortunately, they're the ones that are breeding. Unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, it still takes two to tango.
Yeah, I know. But
Because,
they but the bad but you have a lot of guys that are good guys that actually make good father figures and good fathers are not being given the opportunity to to spread their genes and then blown off. And you have the bad boys that get the girls that aren't good father figures that end up doing their business and doing their thing and going afterwards when the fun's over. This is what we have right now.
yeah.
Inversion, upside down. It's
Oh,
disgusting.
everything is. That's why, my live stream, I keep that quote right there. That everything is freaking upside down on its head.
Yeah.
I
You have the
keep that
good
quote
men.
right
You
there
have the
because that
good
is the
men.
truth.
You have the good men that are shoved to the side, and the bad guys taking that position.
Yes, exactly. So, the bad guys are taking the position, the good guys are getting run over, and the women,
Absolutely,
and they
they
always
get
say,
leftovers.
oh, they like to brag about the good guy comes in last.
No, it's
But,
not true at all. That's
you know,
disgusting.
yeah, I
I
know.
mean, the good guys, yeah, the good guys do come last, but it's not right that the good guys have the last pick, have leftovers.
Exactly, exactly.
It's
It
not
says
right.
it's
That's what
because
I'm
once
referring to.
again, it's upside down. It's twisted up, it's
Yeah,
backwards, inside out.
yeah.
Okay? And that's what's going on. And these people who are pushing this narrative are twisted in their head. Okay? They don't understand the outcome. It's like you got women out there that love to chase unmarried guys.
Mm.
And you got guys that don't want to go chasing single women, they chase married women. And I
Really?
knew a
Okay.
guy that was this way. And
Mm.
I said something to him and I said, so why the hell are you keep chasing married women? You could be chasing singles. He says, no, it's more fun chasing married. And I says, and why the hell would you do it? He says, well, do you realize that if I get in your woman's pants, I'm a better man than you? That was his answer.
Okay.
So in his head, he had the illusion that if he got into your woman's pants, that made him a better man than you. And I
No,
says, so you mean if
I don't think. I don't think it does. I
somebody
don't think it
blows the
does.
top of your head off with a gun, that made you a better man? And he looked at me funny when I said that, and I said, you're playing with fire. One day, you might get seriously hurt or dead doing what you're doing. And he went quiet and he had no more to say to me. Huh. But, hey, I said it as it is because, you're going to go out there and fuck with other people's women because you think it makes you a better man. It's because you're delusional.
Mm. I have no desire to want to be with someone who's got kids. I have no desire to be with that. Yeah.
No.
It's very easy for a TFL guy to go with a single mother. I mean, Steve had a video out just recently, a few weeks back, that TFL guy can find a single mother, but I am not into that, man. Just raising someone else's kid, nah, doesn't do it for me. Sorry, Steve, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but she didn't choose the right girl when she was younger. So no.
It's not, life is all messed up. Everything's upside down in his freaking head. And these people, so many people, and I don't criticize Steve for the fact that Steve is TFL. Steve is Dave's age, and that's an awful lot of years to be alone.
Mm,
Do you see what I'm
mhm.
saying?
Yes,
And
yes, I do.
we still have individuality. My most important thing is for people, I don't care about your individuality. I want you to be your individual self.
Yeah.
Okay, I want that. But I also want you to recognize right from wrong and quit ditching the right and saying, oh, well, you're talking about morals and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not.
Mm.
You don't got to have morals to be right. You reckon you don't want people shitting all over you? Then what the hell are you doing shitting all over somebody else? So many people do unto others that they don't want done to themselves. And if somebody does back to them what they've done to you, they're madder than hell. They're ready to go to fuck. They're ready to go to blows. Okay? Yeah, you're all
Exactly.
ready to go to blows over something you're doing to somebody else regularly, huh? So you can't handle your own medicine, huh? Then, of course, that just pisses them off all the more because,
I've seen it. I've seen it.
yeah,
And then, of course, they'll go away, lick their wounds, come back, and they'll do it again.
of course they will, you know, and they'll come right back and do it again. They sometimes it's like, how do you get somebody to
That's
change
why
their
I walked
ways, you know?
away. That's
Yeah.
why I walked away.
How do you
That's the
get,
only
you
thing you
know?
can do.
And to me, it's like some of these people I don't think are helpable. I think they're going to be doomed to getting their ass handed to them in a hospital. Zombie, you have brain damage.
Mm. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And, and I don't know what else to do about it. I just, we're at the point that we're at the really, we're at a point of no return.
We are. Yeah. We are. If we can't change it now, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah. And if
So you reckon we're already past that point now? I
I
guarantee.
really do believe we're probably past the point of turning it around.
What do you think was the point we could have turned it around?
I
The
would,
90s?
I would say we could have turned it around as even as 5 years back.
Whoa. Just five
Okay.
years ago.
Now,
Just 5 years ago.
actually fixing the problem would have taken a few decades.
A
But
few
we,
generations.
but yes, a few generations. But we could have actually turned it around and stopped it. But
Uh,
I don't think we're too far gone for that now. You got too many. See, the truther movement was created by the CIA, first off. And a lot of people don't realize that, but it was. It was the CIA that created the truther movement. And in the truther movement, people come along and got into it. You have some real truthers, but the
mm,
majority are wearing a mask. The majority of them have an ego, and their ego's swollen up, and it's just like power and greed absolutely corrupts the human mind, while your
mm.
ego corrupts your human mind just as well. It's every bit as bad as power and greed because you will disregard the truth for all the sake of your ego. And I look at the truth of the community, and it's sort of like the manosphere. They somehow think the truth is a buffet line, and they can go through this buffet line loaded with nothing but concrete truth, and they're only going to select the truth they like and disregard the rest. Well, that's what they're doing because in the truth of the community, they won't acknowledge the manosphere. They don't care about the manosphere. They'll tell you it's your own fault because their simps pussies don't care about it, or it's too personal for them. We can't talk about this because this is too personal. Or this topic's taboo. Well, taboo is corruption.
Mm.
And there's no other instance about it. If you say something's taboo, you're not to talk about it. It's corruption. And what are you hiding? What is it that you don't want talked about? Why do you not want it talked about? See, the topic we talk about with TFL is taboo.
I know.
Okay?
I don't want to go there.
Exactly. So they don't want to hear it. It's taboo.
When you have so many guys that are suppressed and denied, and it's like, it's in your face. Especially
Yes.
now. Especially now.
Yeah. And that's why I said what I said about MGTOW. And the majority of MGTOW are fake, fraudulent. They're fakes. And you have got a lot of TFLers in denial. They'll run from the name because they think that if they're not associated with the name, somehow they're going to get their dick in a hole because that's what they're calling a relationship. That's what they're calling love. Or they'll
That's
be,
not love.
yeah, or they'll be in the
That's not
mindset
love.
of appropriating, spreading their genes. Okay, and now you got the percentage of guys that are, that mindset is spreading their genes.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Okay,
mentality. It's disgusting.
yeah, it is. It's totally disgusting. You know, and
Well,
that's a
if you're going to be a good father figure to raise that child right from wrong, and what child
no.
that
They're spreading
has
their
hope for the
genes. That
world?
means that child's growing up without a father.
Yeah,
That also means these women are raising boys. So you look
yeah.
at how fucked up society is, and all these men that are acting like women. I mean, it's so in your face,
I
you
know.
know. And like Jay over in United Kingdom, he'll tell you he sees an epidemic of women who are actually walking away from men. Wig
You
talk,
know, yeah, yeah.
and
But
yeah,
that that
of course,
that they don't want to talk to men no more, and
exactly,
men are just chasing them like a little puppy.
yeah, and that's only going to do nothing but get bigger.
Just the chief will get bigger and bigger and bigger after
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
only going to grow. But the difference between men going their own way and women going their own way is the majority of men are frauds, they're fakes. That's why you got MGTOWers that are preaching pump and dump.
well, I'm going my own way. I'm going my own complete. I'm going my own way completely. I'm not
Well, now
lying.
see, I'm not talking about every single one, but the majority is.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't count you in on this because even though you're a TFLer, you've decided you're better off being alone, which
I
means you
know.
could go your own way, you know, but you're not going your own way because you didn't want. You're going your own way because you was pushed out to begin with, and then you saw and you wasn't willing to change who you are. That somebody
Hmm.
needs to love you for who you are, which is the
Exactly.
exact way it's supposed to be. So you're not living with the upside down, twisted, manipulated version. You're living in
Mm.
reality.
Yeah, for the truth, for the truth.
Exactly. Exactly.
And in our
So,
world, it's not allowed.
yep, exactly. So this is the reason I would stick with you and say, no, you're on the right path. You just do exactly what you're doing because you're on the right path.
And do you suppose is it possible to find someone eventually if it does happen?
If it does, you probably most likely won't be looking when it does.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. And what I would think it's a plus if it does because you're man enough to know already that you're not going to put up with abuse or bullshit.
Yeah.
And there are some good women out here that will meet you 50-50.
Young
Yes,
girls today, young
yes.
females today,
There are some that will. It's just, like I said, it's like finding
in
that.
a small minority.
Yes, it's like finding that dinosaur egg. And if you ever run into that one, then yeah, I would definitely encourage you to, yeah, because you'll know if it's happened because it'll start off with just casual talk that turned to, you just seem to have a lot in common. She sort of, you'll see it in her eyes, you'll see it, body language will tell you. She'll be able to tell it in you. And then maybe
Mm.
you'll start doing a few things together, hanging out together and talking. And you just let it build slowly because people don't understand that dating was always about getting to know
Yeah.
and then becoming friends. This rejection line from females that don't friend zone me, it's
Hmm.
for females that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because the foundation of any relationship is friendship, even between man and woman. Without the friendship, you could never be best friends and you could never find real love.
Yeah.
Real love does exist, but real love only comes through being friends first.
You said many times over in your videos. Yeah, I've heard you
Yes.
say that.
And well, that's because it's absolutely concrete true. And today's society is so
Yeah.
upside down, so
I
reverted.
well, I've had a few experiences 2 years back or 3 years back. I was going to TAFE, and I had a few girls that showed interest in me, and I could tell with their body language. And a lot of the guys that were jealous, that they saw that these girls took interest in me, and so they were trying to show their dominance, trying to compete against me. you know.
Of course, and that well,
And I
that's
just knew that that wasn't a good sign because it only caused problems. Because you have so many guys out there that are left out that will compete with other guys to prove themselves to a girl that they're worthy. Even when a girl is showing interest more to the other guy, you
yep.
know,
They will ignore
they,
what she's showing interest in and try to cut in between and
even when
take
you
it
go in
out from
public,
underneath you.
even when you go in public in shops and plaza, you're holding a girl by your hand. There's guys out there that will try to, to walk past you and doubling, pass you and cut you off on purpose, piss you off because you've got a girl by your side. And so the environment is toxic, and because it's toxic, it's very hard because the outside influence are too strong and too negative that it might not ever happen because the environment.
It is. It is.
And I'm willing to accept that and to understand that because I don't want to always check my back and see if someone might sabotage you on purpose because they see what you've got and they're jealous and they want what you've got because their life is not so hunky dory the way you've got it. If someone in your life is there by your side,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the neighbours here are like that. They're all competing. Who's got what? Who's got more? They're going to be better than you. And this is the mentality of the society. Like Warren said, a game, one up you, be above you. That's the game nowadays. And it's going to end up killing you in the end. It really will.
Yeah. It's
And
just
that's why I take that into account. So I actually left TAFE because a number of reasons, but I'm not very good at schoolwork. I'm more hands-on, so I left school. But I saw what I had to put up with in the class and the other guys. These guys were scumbags. Just scumbags, and these guys want to take respect rather than earn respect.
yeah.
And I just knew that I'm gonna have problems here with these guys. You know,
Yep.
there's guys out there that are simps manginas, and then there are guys out there TFLers, and to be honest, every guy is trying to compete for one female.
They are. You know, and I would think about it.
There's no allyship. There's no allegiance.
Well, no, there isn't. What we have is a world
If I if
where,
I if I had a friend and he told me, "Oh, I like that girl," and don't try and take her from me, I go, "Okay, I'll back off. She's yours.
yeah.
If you want her, fine. I'll back off
Well,
because you're my friend. That's
it's
why I'm going to
yeah.
respect you." That's what I would do if I was, had a friend of my life
Right.
that was,
Well,
you know,
it's sad because see, our whole world's been so reverted, and people, everything in society, everything has been pushed into competition.
too much,
Okay,
too much.
and it's so far gone that from the job site to the dating scene to everything is all
Mm,
competition, 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 competition.
yeah,
Okay, and it's sad because we have a situation where everything's all competition. And so, yeah. And when a guy's trying to get a woman in their life, he's got
it's tough.
50 or 100 other guys
It's
all
tough.
competing for the same damn woman, and that
Exactly.
woman knows it.
Yes, she knows, and she knows how to play the game, and she knows
Yes.
even if you do pass a shit test, you still have to keep up the facade. You got to keep. It doesn't end there. You have to continue with always trying to prove yourself to the girl. If you don't do that, then she'll dump you and go elsewhere because she's got all these guys lining up.
Yeah.
And because there's so
Exactly.
many guys that are available, because no guys are getting married, they're staying single. It amplifies probably even more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
And
I saw that early on. I saw that when I was younger, a teenager. We go to
yeah.
parties, social school events. I saw how the guys were. Year 10 social, one great example. The elite Chads, oh boy, do they get very jealous when a girl shows interest in a guy who's an average Joe Blow.
Oh, yeah.
They will
That's the guy
have
that's
them
supposed to be isolated and shoved out of a life. And how dare you pay attention to
to
that
him.
elephant man?
Yeah, that I was that type of guy, and she went along because I think deep down inside, she wanted me, but she went along because he was the popular guy, and all the bad boys support him. That's what happens.
Yeah.
No sense of being fair and equal, and selfishness. I believe that every guy should have one girl by their side.
Yeah, I think that everybody deserves to have a female in their life, and we deserve, and we all need to be treating each other as human beings.
I know,
But
respect each
that's
other.
but that's not going to happen because as long as
Not
we
in today's
keep
world.
no, as long as we keep going down the path we're going, it's not going to get any better because see, a female has everything handed to her,
I
and
understand.
she doesn't want to give up what she has handed to
No.
her. Okay, and the men they're starving so bad for the female, and she knows it. As long as they keep this undesirable pushed out and isolated,
Yeah.
they're always going to have a big selection of men to choose from. So when she's through using you, like I like to use the hamburger wrapper excuse,
Yeah.
okay, and she
Yeah.
crumbles your ass up because you're now the rapper and throws you away, oh, don't worry, she's already lined up your replacement before she ever done it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she'll turn around and play the victim because, see, you are abusing her so much. You didn't blah, blah, blah. You didn't blah. And oh, here's another little tip for people when it comes to females. Females are notorious for this, okay? Okay, you're with a woman for a bunch of time. She does something for you. You've done maybe 20, 30 things for her. She goes out of her way and she spends some money on you, okay? You're going to hear about that for the next 20 years. Now, the 5,000 things you do for her, that don't count because you magically somehow owe that to her. But the one thing she done for you, okay, that means the world. So now when she throws you away, you never done nothing for her. And the one thing she done or the two things she done is she done for you. But you never done anything for her, even though you did. But see, that's because we've accepted women are not responsible. We've allowed this gender roles was a big help here. Because what
Yeah.
is a man's role? Provide.
Yeah.
Provide. Yep. See, so you naturally owe it to her because provide can stand for anything you ever do for her.
Be his servant, his slave.
Yes. See,
Slave
gender
or
roles
sovereign.
actually perpetuated that. That's why, even in today's society, women are in the workplace, women are out earning men. And of
Yeah.
course, they'll lie and say they're
I've
not when
noticed
they
it.
are. And
And they
there's,
are.
yep.
You go to
And,
a supermarket, you go to a supermarket store nowadays, and there's women packing shelves.
oh, yes, yes. Okay,
And
you got all these women already in men, and then women they're earning just as much as the man. But we're not going to let go of the gender roles. No, we can't let go of the gender roles because that favors who? The gender that doesn't want to give anything up.
the female.
Exactly. And people can, it's so in people's faces. I don't know what to say. But I'll tell you what, it's not going to get any better.
I know.
But hey, I think we've been here long enough.
Yeah, I
I've been
know.
up here 2.5 hours.
I know. It's a long
So,
time.
and I need to get some sleep yet myself because our time is so far off.
Okay. So leave it like that, or just contact every once
If
in a
you would
while.
like to, it's up to you, man. I mean, if you want to come on Saturday nights or my time, and which is Sunday morning,
Yeah.
let me know. Send me an email, and I'll come up and do a live stream with you. I'll
All
probably do it
right.
a lot like I did today because I'm not saying you don't want your face to be seen, but I don't want somebody like Warren or Dave calling in and
Mm-hmm.
their phone numbers are up there for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
If you and I was on cam together, we've been looking at each other the whole show.
Yeah.
Everybody would see you and me. Not that you would care, but they're also not going to see no personal information, just your name or whatever information you put on Zoom
Mm-hmm.
is all they're going to see. Where Warren don't have the mic and the cam, so he'd be using a telephone and calling in.
Okay.
Dave would be calling in, and
Yeah.
they would come right into our live stream, right into our chat by the phone number through Zoom. You would just hear, I would just hear it doing in there. They'd be in here, and they'd be
So which
talking to you and I, and they would be in the live feed, but their phone
one?
numbers show up for everybody. So I fixed it so that if they was to call in,
Yeah.
everybody sees what they're seeing. They see the MGTOW sign, the I want revenge. They see everything's upside down. And today I changed a couple, but I got forever alone in there. Okay, why forever alone? I'm ugly. I'm shy. I'm always home. I'm weird. I'm too ugly.
Hmm. Well, okay. So
Okay.
we're trying to. So so is this live or is this going
Oh
on?
no, we've been live and the chat's been going off the freaking billboard.
Yeah.
The timer's going. We're 2 hours and 35 minutes in.
Okay.
Okay,
All
there's
right.
21 people in the chat right now.
Oh, good.
Okay, so it's not that you haven't been heard. Everybody's hearing you and me just fine.
Yeah.
They're just not seeing you and me.
Oh, they're not. They're not.
Okay, they're not seeing either one of us. They're hearing us.
Okay. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
I did it that way deliberately in case Dave or Warren was home and got in. Okay, this way they were safe. I told Warren this before. I'd set it up that way when I was on Zoom, and he would always know by the live stream.
Or
If he's,
do you rather have it with no a visual
I don't
face?
mind if we have our visual face, but for people like Warren and Dave, I do it so there ain't no our visual. If I do our visual face
Yeah.
and they come into the stream,
Mm.
then their phone numbers is to the world.
Okay.
And if I do it where our face ain't there and they come into the stream, it's just like us. It's only their voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I did tell Warren if he ever comes onto a live stream of mine and sees me physically there, like me and Peter
Mm-hmm.
Nolan, or if it
Mm-hmm.
was you and I, don't call
Mm-hmm.
in. Because if he calls into the stream, his
Then it
phone
shows
number
up.
will be for the public.
So he doesn't
Because
have he doesn't have a computer. Doesn't have one.
well, he's got a computer, but he ain't got a camera and a mic.
What's he just buy a laptop? They come stand with it with the camera and all that stuff with it.
I think
Why's
he's.
that?
I think they got desktop. And if they got desktop, I got desktop. I got a laptop too, but I never use it.
Mm.
Okay,
But
I've got desktop.
Warren's kind of like me. He's kind of like he's awake.
Oh,
Warren is.
Warren's very awake.
Mm.
Okay, Warren is quite awake. Okay,
Yeah.
him and I've been talking for a long time. He is TFL, but that guy is very, very awake to where this problem come from. We used to tease each other. It's like we met in the middle. He had all his shit figured out with the political end, but couldn't figure out what was going down in the dating scene until he ran into me.
Mm.
And then it clicked. TFL, NWO, and it all come together for him. So that's why I
Yeah,
teased him. It's like we met in
I
the
still
middle.
haven't quite figured it out. I still haven't like I haven't got like I haven't done research where studying like I've studied I've read a few books, but I haven't really gotten down with the elites like who are they, what they're all about. Haven't gone that far in, you know, the
Yeah,
bloodline.
yeah. Well, it's pretty deep and it takes a while. I've got a lot of years of looking behind me.
Daniel I does touch on that. He does touch on the bloodline.
Yes.
I do
Mark,
believe that I've always suspected that there's human intelligence that's not human intelligence that's calling the shots behind the scenes.
yeah, I
I've
suspect it
had a
very
gut
well could
feeling,
be an alien life form.
yeah,
Okay. And
someone behind the scenes
and I
doing
know
that
people
on
say, well,
purpose.
and I say, excuse me, you already live on a planet with all kinds of different life forms. So to say another alien life form doesn't exist is like
And
nuts.
if you look at history with like Egypt and all these other old empires that have come and gone, they've always talked about gods that played a part in humankind.
Yeah.
You know, that always play in our affairs, always good in our affairs. and played in our culture and how we came to be, and with demigods, 12 gods, every Roman, Egypt, Sumeria has different names for these type of gods, but they're all the same gods in every empire.
Oh, it is. It
Even,
is. It's
even,
just
even the Inca and the Mayans were the same gods.
it repeats itself over and over.
Yeah,
Okay, and you just
even
there's way
Atlantis.
too much.
Yeah.
It just comes to show. I mean, but the reality is it takes a while. I've got a lot of research on this. Warren has a
Okay.
lot of research. NWO is the reason that you're in TFL. It's
I
the
understand.
reason that all this is going on. Okay, it is the actual root cause, and there's nothing I can say about it other than people have to educate. If I was going to tell you to watch anybody, it would be outside of David Icke. It'd be Mark Passio. Mark Passio is the only guy that I know
He's
of
incredible.
outside of myself that actually touched the dating scene.
So David Icke's not ideal. You don't touch him. Um,
Yeah,
don't
Mark
touch him.
Passio actually went into the spill on
Yeah.
MGTOW, the dating
Yep, I
scene,
know.
the war on the
Yeah, I
genders.
watched it.
So yeah,
Yeah, I definitely know he touched on that. Yeah, I've seen him. I've
yeah.
seen his videos. Yeah, he
So
talks in depth how it all.
them are the two that I'd tell you to watch. Okay, and of course, Mark Passio reminds me of me in a lot of ways.
He
I'm not
does.
him, but he does remind me of me
Yeah, he,
because
he goes in depth.
I
He
go
goes in
in
depth.
depth and he gets pissed off and I get pissed off, and we have some similarities going on there. But I don't mind it. You know,
But he has sold his soul out to the elite because he's playing part of the agenda.
yeah, yeah, I
Is
know.
that part of you that does? He's a charlatan in somewhat way because he's kind of like playing in the game to make
Yeah,
his money to
I know.
survive.
I know.
Like that video you did back a few months back with that guy, a poker video you did with that guy who got shunned out of the how he did a talk, and he was shunned because he wanted clarability, like a sense of like revealing the truth to the others and not being like not covering it up. The video you did about that guy who got thrown out of the group. What's with that? Do you remember a few months back about Opoka, Mexico, I think it was, and
Yeah.
Mark Podolsky, Luke Podolsky was there, and he spoke to him
Yes.
about yeah, that guy that was a guy that was kind of like was someone that was not part of the group but was questioning about certain things that weren't discussed.
He wanted real truth and was in for real truth and didn't know who he was talking to as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he trusted Lou Brodowski, and that's why his big mistake was he sat at the table for that 2.5 hours, whatever he was sitting there talking with
Mm,
Lou Brodowski. And by the time
mm.
he was through, Lou Brodowski shook his hand, said, "Have a nice day," and turned around and went and fucking got him thrown out.
Yeah, she's screwed now. Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Brodowski's a real piece of shit. Okay, and people
So
think, "Oh no, he's weird change." Yeah, he's gonna give you his change, all right. You may not like that. He didn't
so
tell
a
you
lot
what
of these
change to get
independent
there.
speakers, they need a platform to start their to get their audience, and they have to go there to these places where you have to be part of the group in order to get an audience.
Yeah,
Isn't you have to do
and
it.
if you notice, David Icke had the biggest platform
So
in that one.
Mark Palcio, he's kind of playing the game. He has to. He's got to bite his
Yeah,
tongue.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. But anyhow, Guy, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the live
Okay.
stream. And
All right.
if you want to do something again,
Yep.
figure out probably since we're so many hours apart,
Mm-hmm.
probably keep the same kind of timing.
Okay. All right.
Saturdays, same kind of timing.
We have anyone else in the chat room too as well?
Well, we got quite a few people. Even Warren came into the chat.
Yeah.
Once this actually goes up, which will be probably an hour or two, probably it'll take a while to process.
Mm-hmm.
But once
Mm-hmm.
it goes up, you can come back and watch it yourself, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can I sometimes listen back to my own live stream so I can
Mm-hmm.
watch the chat. I don't,
Okay.
tonight I've been more focused on we've been looking at each other and talking, and
Mm,
everybody's been hearing us, and I haven't paid too much attention to the chat.
mm.
And then sometimes I don't like to because people say shit that'll piss me off or they'll drag me off topic. And I don't script anything I do, it's all right out of my head.
Yeah.
And so I don't like to focus too much on the chat for that reason.
Okay.
So, but that's me.
All
But yeah,
right.
I figure it's about the same time on Saturdays if you want to do one. Shoot
Okay.
me an email, let me know, and you
Okay,
know,
great. All
all the
right.
way up. Other than that, yep, and then just know to come on Zoom around that time because that's how you're gonna come in.
Okay.
Okay?
Zoom. Okay.
Yep. Okay, guy. I'm
Cheers.
out here, and you gotta have a good one, and we're out of here.
You too. Bye.